Pike's pushed more and far enough ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, they're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the 100% Div 2 Round 28 live from Las Vegas. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be here with Rio Subra once more, guiding you through all the action at this amazing circuit. Tri-Oval Super Speedway, conception in 1996 to the present day, 1.5 miles of epic racing. We've got 20-degree banking in the turns, 9 to 12-degree banking in the front stretch, and 9 to 12 banking in the back stretch. Let's keep you up to date after last week's race at the Charlotte Roval, of course, as well. So let's see where we are in conjunction with the scores on the doors at the moment. Adam Benefiel is out in front. You can see there on the door he's on 888 points. Jedi Taylor is on 95 points back. That puts him on 793. Then you got Patrick Gitter on 767. Wayne Grass on 739. Then you got Andrew Dyson 3 points back from that as well on 609. Tanner Mardy 5 points back on 604. Then Matt Dicciani 14 points back on 590. John Delaney 89 points back on 501. And then Bobby Anderson 30 points back on 471. That is the current scores on the doors. What is happening at the session at the moment? Well, we have just gone into qualifying. These drivers now will put their times on the board and we will see what they are able to do in this 5-minute period. They've got 2 minutes 36 seconds left on the clock before we get underway for this race. 201 laps lap. Stage break at lap 45. Stage 2 at lap 90. They've got 1 fastware pair and 3 green-white checkers. Now, the interesting thing, they've got 5 tyre sets to work with here today. 5. Okay, so they are going to be needing them 5 tyres to get through this race. Let's bring Rhea into the booth. Good evening, Rhea. How are you?
Good, James. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Not bad at all. To be fair, yeah, I'm all good. You know what I mean? Looking forward to this one. This should be a good one, I think. Hopefully, you know, Vegas, well, it's an interesting circuit. It is a tri-oval. It is a super speedway. They are going to be going, you know, speeds upwards of 185 miles an hour plus at the moment. So, you know, it's going to be tricky for them to try and contend with this, I think. I think that's going to be one of the interesting things to see how they do here with that 20-degree banking in the turns. It's always going to be difficult as well because, as we know, if you end up spinning in the turns on a 20-degree banking, you will probably end up coming down across track. You can see here with Pearson, he's on 190, give or take, miles an hour. It's a very fast-paced circuit, and they do have 201 laps to try and complete.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of different... I think we're going to see a lot of different moves in this, like, tactics in general. In this race, you see a couple of people already employing, like, that they're dipping down onto the apron in the front stretch. There's, like you said, it's a super speedway, so we could see a lot of people side drafting to try and bring the person in front of them back towards them. A lot of different tire managing strategies. You can go with the high line to try and kind of keep them in operating range for a little bit longer, but obviously that low line is going to be a lot faster. And then again, with tires, you might see a couple people stay out longer than you would expect for certain stints and kind of hope for that caution, because track position here does mean a lot.
I think that's going to be the thing. They're going to have to really work on that track position as well. It's going to be quite a draft-heavy circuit. One of the things they don't want to be doing is losing that draft early on, because if they do that, they are going to be dropping backwards quite rapidly here. So they've got to try and keep hold of that draft. Qualifying has come to an end. We will bring you up the grid very, very shortly and how they're going to line up. Andrew Dyson will be out in front for DPR Racing for over Edward Scheuer in second, Neil Pearson in third, Jody Beck in fourth, Chad Gwenigsman in fifth, Corey Harville in sixth, Chad Keeby in seventh, Lachlan Quijo, I believe, in 8th, Cameron King in 9th, Ben Tracy 10th, Carl Dodson in 11th, and Patrick Gitter is in 12th. Beyond that, we've got Matt Pageant in 13th, Brenton Henderson in 14th, Carl Ammon in 15th, Travis Crumeda in 16th, Matt Long 17th, Jamie Knopf in 18th, Kevin Soziak in 19th, Benjamin Stevens 20th, Francisco Villarreal in 21st, Randy Belk in 22nd, and you've got Sean O'Brien Jr. in 24th with Jordan Pearson in 24th place. Tanner Marty in 25th. Eli Sazak in 26th. Jason Taylor 27th. Derek Heitman in 28th. Matt DiCiani in 29th. Lucas Abreu in 30th. Bruno Mello 31st. Daniel Simmons 32nd. Ruben Phelps in 33rd. Wayne Grass in 34th. Damaris Hinkenbottom in 35th. And Daniel Llewellyn in 36th place. 36 cars lining up here to run around this amazing circuit. It's going to be clean all the way, right?
Oh, absolutely. It'll be clean the entire time, all 200 plus laps, and you'll be able to get to bed at a decent time that won't be 6 in the morning. That's how NASCAR always goes.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. It might be 6 in the morning before I hit my bed, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. You never know. These drivers might keep it completely clean and do the full 201 without any problems. Yambles, welcome in. Good to hear that voice. Let's go racing. Now, I'm not sure if that's mine or yours, Rhea, to be honest. Probably more yours than mine, but hey, you never know. Never know. So,
yeah, we'll see.
201 laps here, guys, as well. Don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on the bells. That would be absolutely amazing, as we've got more racing coming up for you as well. IGP Fun on Sunday, and don't forget there might be a special event popping up there for tomorrow night as well. So we'll see on that one what happens, but it's gonna be an interesting one here today. We've got Fords, we've got Chevys, we've got Camrys all out on this track once more, and I think, to be honest, we should be in for a good race. Andrew Dyson here, hometown Melbourne in Australia. We've got Neil Pearson from Australia as well. We've got Brenton Henderson from Australia. We've got a couple of Brazilians in there, and Lachlan Aquijo is also from Australia. So a big Australian contingency, in conjunction with the fact that we are on a oval, and it is NASCAR area, but it does seem to be getting more multinational than just Americans running ovals.
Yeah, we've mentioned it before on the channel here that it's something that a lot of people think is you just turn left, and it very much seems like that until you get in the car. And the second you're in the car, you realize there's a lot going on. This is a game of it's tactics, it's mind games, it's physical endurance, and there's a lot to love about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go, guys. We are going to be up and running for the Div 2 201 live from Vegas, and we are off and running. Andrew Dyson settling in that front spot. Edward Scheuer in second with Neil Pearson third. Jody Beck fourth. Corey Harville in fifth. The 201 is up and running. We've got 36 cars, I believe, as Ruben Phelps has just taken to the circuit there as well. And you've got Edward Scheuer bump drafting along Andrew Dyson. We're settling into what is almost 2 columns of racing. They are a little bit higgly-piggly. No, don't have caution one already there as well, as we can see that car behind that 54 of Jody Beck bumping along there. There's more contact in the middle. They're almost free wide here as well. This is a little bit early, Rio, lap 2 to be going free wide already.
Yeah, it's going to cause a lot of chaos, especially with people having cold tires. They may have done a bunch of qualifying, but the thing with iRacing is the second the session starts, you get a whole new car. So people are just going to have to remember to take it easy and not push too hard going 3 wide. We already have some people dropping back. It looks like there may have been a spin, maybe just lost control with the cold tires.
Yeah, they're still running. There's no caution, so they haven't done anything major drama there as well. You can see the 35 there, Daniel Llewellyn, has dropped back off the pack early on, and you're just going to watch him go sliding back through now, and he's just going to lose an absolute bunch of time there, and it's going to be difficult. Carl Ammon with that mellow yellow Carl Trickle livery, of course, from the famous Days of Thunder here as well, doing an absolutely stellar job currently once more. But it is 4 laps in, 201 on the clock. We've got 197 remaining. This surely is going to be a battle of the mentals, right? This is, and I don't mean mentals as in, yeah, let's go mental and go and take the field out. It's going to be mentally draining on some of these drivers to run for that amount of time. You know, it's not the most easiest, how can I put it, distance to cope with. They're going to be at this for a good couple of hours.
Yeah, like I was mentioning earlier, it becomes a game of physical endurance. Your body starts to, you feel it in your legs and your arms, fighting that force feedback, even just having to adjust the pedals. Thankfully at Vegas, it's a bit more of a throttle heavy track. You don't have to rely on your brakes almost at all, you know, unless of course there's a checkup or even a full-on crash somewhere along the line.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things they're going to have to be careful of, because we're racing in this kind of pack format here as well. As you can see there, Chad going high on the outside line on that exit of turn 2 and down that back straight at the moment, settling in behind Neil Pearson, who is out in front. He's going to be cutting the air open for all all of these guys to be running through. If anybody's going to be fuel saving, tire saving, Chad is in the right place on the circuit to be doing that. And that's one of the things I think we will be looking out for. The tire saving, the fuel saving, the different line through. Who's going to be running high? Who's going to be running low? Now, we don't talk about high and low as in high, low. You know, we talk about it in where they are on the track. Yes, the shortest route is the inside line, and it's going to be that bottom line always will be the shortest route. But at the same time, it's the one that's going to wear the tires down the most. It will be the one that will basically scrub that tires off here as well at Vegas, and I think they've got to be careful of that. As you can see, Edward Scheuer running too wide in that 80 Chevrolet on the inside line with the 54, which is Joey Beck tucked up right behind him, being done on the outside line by Mark Paget there in that 02 car. It's always going to be difficult on that outside on that inside line because you are scrubbing tires more than the people on the outside.
Yeah, and I had mentioned that earlier, but so to add to that, we do have 5 sets of tires here, so that includes the ones that they have on now, and then 4 changes. So it'll be interesting to see how people kind of vary that, going between the top line and the bottom line, trying to gain the speed or save the tires. But of course, it all depends on cautions as well. Early cautions could mean early changes in tires. So it'll be interesting to see all the strategies and games that they end up playing with each other.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the things. Who's gonna blink first? Who's going to be looking at trying to take it in? You can see them all rushing past us there. That gives you a sense of speed of just how fast these guys are flying along. Once more, as they're coming out of the exit of 2, look at that camera there on the left-hand side. Massive shake all the way through. You see the field coming through now. They've dropped off the 35 position car once more. That's down in Daniel Llewellyn. Ruben Phelps is still not going to be coming as well. They're going to be running in packs. We spoke about it last week at Charlotte Roval. It's a different circuit, completely different. Obviously, you got a road and an oval. But here, that going into that pit lane entry, you don't want to be going in a mass pack, but you do want to be trying to go in with somebody, right? You don't want to go in there solo.
Yeah, ideally you do want to go in there with as many people as you possibly can, but in iRacing you have varying levels of skills. So in a situation like this where you're not with, not everybody on the field is a top level pro driver, not to say that they're bad, but you kind of want to go in with more of a pack of, like, I think we talked about it before, being like 4 or 5 is like that magic number. Yeah,
I think that's one of the things as well. 4 or 5 is that magic number. They don't want to be going in really in a mass group, because that pit entry is here on the right hand side. You can see it there, and it's coming straight off that exit of 4 down into the tri-oval part, and it could cause them a problem if they start going in big groups. We have seen a group separation. This is Jamie Knopf in 20th place at the moment. He's got that next group behind him. It consists of Sazak, Heitman, O'Brien, Belk, Pearson, Stevens, Taylor, Dicciane, Mello, Abreu, Simons, Grass, Hinkenbottom, all involved in this second group of cars. So they are slowly starting that front group to drop the group behind. So that top 19 are dropping the rest ever so slowly. They're edging out time on them, and they want to be trying. Really, if you're Brenton Henderson here, I think, Rhea, to be honest, you want to be trying to hang on to that draft as much as you possibly can in that 19th place.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the amount of cars he has in front of him, there's going to be a lot of poles being punched through the air. So you want to kind of stay as close to somebody's bumper as you can. He's got 2 lines to pick from here. Going for the middle, so sometimes you can get a bit of a better draft through there, but right now it might just be safer to pick a pack and stick with them.
Yeah, I think it would be. Pick a line.
Exactly.
Because if you don't pick a line and you start doing all the squirly whirly stuff that basically ends up making you run across the side of the circuit, you're up, you're down, you're round. If you're trying to bump drive somebody, if you're trying to stay in contact with somebody, it can cause problems. And I think they're going to have to really make sure that they are within contact of everybody else. You can see now the gap is slowly edging back from Brenton Anderson to Jamie Knopf. He's slowly getting dropped back here, so they've got to try and make sure they're not dropping back too far. Otherwise, before long, this front group is going to make time, right? They are going to fly along. Now, if they were lining it as well, so you've obviously got Pearson and then you've got King and Paget. If they were lining together, they would obviously be looking at moving faster, right? So they would look at opening up that gap a little bit more than what they have normally done as such. Now, I think where this is quite a draft heavy circuit, and I think, you know, that can basically make that difference. There's going to be a lot that these guys are going to have to try and muster, aren't they? You know, they're not running in one continual line. They're not running in two continual lines. They're a little bit all over the place at the moment. You can see them there almost free wide, going into two and coming out of two as well. So they're going to have to play, I think, a strategic waiting game with when they look at making the pits. Who's going to blink first? Who's going to go in? Who's going to come in with them? And who's going to make that difference? And it is going to be a very tricky one here at Vegas with that multiple lines that they can take. And I think that's something else that adds into the mix of how Vegas sort of perceives itself and how it kind of gets going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's interesting you talk about multiple lines, but we're not actually seeing two consistent lines. It's a lot of just people kind of going where they feel like their tire. I'm guessing a lot of people are going where they feel their tires might give the most out of the life of them, but you kind of expect to see a bit more of a more tidy line by now, with at least one of them.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we would expect. You know, a two-line run or a one-line, as you can see there, the 98, and that's Chad. Unfortunately, just looks like he's tapped the wall there. But they're not really giving us that, are they? They seem to be going, as you say, where they do want, as we've got three wide. It's very tight in the middle. Ben, Tracy, Chad, we're all four wide as well. Coming off the apron is the 5 car. He's going to be trying to send it three wide round the corner. That's never normally a good idea. As Dyson there, who was your pole man, is down 6 places. There's a big one at the back. Yep, there we go. I didn't wonder when
contact.
Yeah, looks like Corey Harville, unfortunately, here.
Yeah, it looks like he just got tapped on the rear end, that corner pedal, and just lost it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing for Corey. He's going to now, let's see, Corey Harville here. Yeah, he got a big checkup from Dyson. Him and the 80 car had a bit of a tat-tat-tat. And unfortunately, round they go. So, unfortunately for Corey Harville, that is where he ended up. Tough one. Tough one, because the checkup come from what was going on in front. They were almost 4 to 5, you know, 4 wide at one point. And unfortunately, that's what caused the issue for everybody else. And it's a dangerous game early on when you're doing things like that because of that situation. They need to really, really be a little bit careful.
Yeah, and when that happens and you're that far, well, not that far, you're farther back, there's not too much you can do. You just gotta be aware and do your best to slow the car down, and then it comes down to hoping everybody else around you is paying enough attention to be able to see exactly what's happening. And if they're not, it just ends up exactly like that, where you just get tapped and you end up losing the car.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Caution 1 out on lap 23. So don't forget, stage break at 45. We didn't quite manage that one, but we are under the first caution. There is people making that dive into the pit stops already. Carl Dobson, Chad Lachlan, Travis, Corey Harville, Brenton Henderson, Carl Ammon, Benjamin Stevens and Ruben Phelps all diving into the pits on lap 23. Now, me personally, I would try and see if I can get to the stage break. I think that probably, if you run the stage break as your probably your tyre stops, Rhea, I think that's going to be probably ideal for a lot of these drivers if they can get there.
Yeah, you had mentioned that you think it's a little early, but to be honest, with 5 total sets of tires, 4 spares, this I don't want to say late in the race, but around here with the early-ish caution, it's actually not insane to see a couple of drivers swapping out their tires and try to go for that track position. As we talked about earlier, they're gonna come out on much fresher tires, sure, a little bit further back in the pack, but those even about 10-15 lap tire difference makes a huge difference. So we're probably going to see some people cutting through the field quite quickly.
Well, we're going to find out. I think we're going to be finding out. The pace car lights are still on here. So there you go. Still going to be going for another lap and a bit. Let us know, guys, if you are here. We will say hello. I promise you can have a chat with us about the racing. Tell us what your opinions are. Maybe our opinions are wrong and you want to give your opinion. You can put your opinion in the YouTube chat as well, and we will have a discussion about it. It's gonna be a very interesting one. I think that's what we can probably safely say about Vegas here, Rhea, is, if nothing else, it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, absolutely, especially at one of the more faster tracks on the schedule. Any of the super speedways tend to be very interesting to see how people work together in what is essentially a team game until the end of the race.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've got the likes of Homestead coming up. We've got Martinsville in 2 weeks' time, and then we round off in Phoenix. So they've got a lot more racing to do here. But first, they've got to get and try and master this race, this track, this Vegas track. Trust me, they don't want to be looking at gambling it down here today. They've got to be making it sure that they can keep this car on circuit, because if once we start getting cautions, as we know here on the JPB YouTube channel, cautions can breed cautions, and then we're going to be in trouble. And we definitely don't want to be leaking cautions here at Vegas, because it could end up getting quite messy, Rhea, if that becomes the case.
Yeah, it'll also modify a lot of people's strategies where you're not using as much fuel or as much of the tire when you're going around at a less than a fourth of normal pace, basically. So it'll be interesting to see if we get more, to see how people kind of react to that, especially since some people are already on the newer sets of tires. But obviously, it's always more exciting when we have green flag racing. Now, we will have at least another 2 cautions from the stage breaks.
Well, yeah, I think that you can handle, you know what I mean, when it comes to stage breaks. You can handle, cautions on that one, because that's what's going to happen. What you really don't want to see is just that rough kind of mistake racing. I think that's going to be one of the things we've got to be looking out for here. We don't want that rough mistake racing. We are going to be up and running green flag very, very shortly. Pace car takes that weird 90-degree left turn and manages to get it stopped at the moment. We have got a 2-column. Are we going to stay in that way? It's back up and running. Neil Pearson has jumped the start already. He has made a break and has roughed it out in front with Patrick Gitter, Cameron King, Andrew Dyson, Chad Keeby right behind him by about half a second. Neil Pearson there getting an absolute flying of a restart on that one.
Yeah, he's really far out in front, which, unfortunately, in the faster tracks like the super speedways, you're not doing as good as the people behind you who are able to pair up. Though again, it looks like we're having people just struggling to make those lines. It's very interesting to see that people aren't just pairing up like they should be. Dyson could be getting right behind Gitter and giving him a little push on the straights and just gaining that time on Pearson, but they're just not hooking up.
Yeah, they are almost looking 3 wide further back here once more. And we've got the 63 in there of Ben Tracy, then the 93 in the middle of Cameron King. And out on the outside line at the moment, here's the 23 of Chad Keeby. They want to be kind of making sure that they're not going to be doing it wrong. That's a problem, because otherwise we're going to be going into another caution. And I'm sure everybody would love to be able to get to the stage break. Eli Sazak in that Camry in that number 8, dropping back from Sean O'Brien here and with Kevin Soziak and Derek Heitman right trying to get underneath him here in that 76 Ford Mustang. Hit once more, so let's see how these get on. 28 laps down. We still have got a race on our hands once more. You can see the bump drafting in front currently with that 27 car, which is Francesco Villarreal and Sean O'Brien Jr. behind him here as well. They kind of settling into two lines here, but kind of not really.
Yeah, again, it's all over the place. You would normally see people in a very orderly line. You'd want to, like I said before, you'd expect at least one of them, but everybody's just kind of off left and right, and that's really not helping their tires and not helping their pace. So I'm kind of wondering what the hesitation to hook up here is.
Well, is it nerves, do we think? Is it kind of the way that they want to run? Is everybody on that different... Oh, no, keep out of the wall. Well, that was the 23. They did manage to keep out of the wall. That was Chad Keeby. No caution needed there. But unfortunately, that was a big old retap for Chad Keeby there, unfortunately. And that has put him all the way back, down 20 places, down into 27. And Chad Keeby getting a big old hit against that wall there, Rhea. And it's going to be tough now for him to start making his way back through the field.
Yeah, especially in iRacing, I don't know how many people are aware of this, but the walls in oval tracks are quite sticky. They tend to not let your car go like you think they should, so just a small tap ends up being a lot more time lost than you would expect.
I think that's the thing they're going to have to look out for. A wall tap doesn't always let you out, should we say. It doesn't always let you out, so they've got to be a little bit more careful. And that progressive damage as well, they don't really want to be doing that in a continual process either, partly due to the fact that obviously if they start hitting the same points, sooner or later then points are going to break, and that is not going to be good for them.
Yeah, you're going to end up with, like you said, the same points. You're going to end up with a lot of aero damage to where you've been hitting. And on a track like this, that's very detrimental. However, maybe not so much since we haven't been seeing those lines form. Looks like we're actually going 3 wide into some of the corners already, which is a little risky, especially with people having tires as old as they are.
Yeah, 34 lap old tyres are almost 3 wide as well on that entrance into 1, coming out of 2 currently. Sean O'Brien, Jason Taylor there at the 41, and then in front you've got the 27 who's just gone and tapped the wall. That's Villarreal once more hitting that wall with Heitman there as well, and there is a yellow.
If that was just...
No, it all went off behind. There we go. I think that was Brenton Henderson who may have been involved in that one. Oh no, there was already a lockup. He's put it against the wall. That was the 70 in the 06 car. Travis Scrumeda, I think. No, they're already going as well. Ah, there it is. Daniel Simmons. I need to slow that down just a little bit. Not going to lie, my eyes are not that... Ah, he gets loose in that middle pack. And unfortunately, round he goes. He takes the 78, then just gives him more of a push round, unfortunately. And then you're going to see it in a minute on the right-hand side there. There you go, some more contact coming in as well. And then the 70 goes into the side of that one. So, unfortunately for Dan Simmons, not an ideal run there. Just got loose in that mid-pack rear and unfortunately sent him round.
Yeah, it's something that's very easy to do, especially, as we said, on tires that are comparatively pretty old. They're going to start getting loose coming out of those corners. And it's just... maybe they're just not expecting it, so I don't want to use words like early and late at this stage in the game, in the race, because we're really comparatively to the rest of the race, we're not that far in. However, the tires and the life that they have is it's pretty late in their lifespan.
Would you start making a move into the pits now, though?
I'm actually surprised we didn't see more people go into the pit last caution. Maybe just people trying to stay out and see how much they can get out of those tires to try and keep that track position. But you're in the long run, you're generally going to end up losing it on older tires when a good majority of the field ends up going in. But I'm surprised we're not seeing many people in there now. It looks like we only have a couple of people that peeled off at all.
Yeah, we have. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have maybe made that jump into the pit stops here as well on lap 35. I think that's going to be where now. What? You can see the front haven't gone in. Now, if we can go down to the likes of Lachlan Equajo here, he has gone in to the pits. They are obviously just counting the top 8 on that. So there is starting to become a mixture of strategies. And I think that could be where this is going to play out and how this could be won, I think. It could be on a strategy-based evening.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of people just kind of hoping for more of that, more of the cautions, because people are pretty aware of cautions. You read cautions, as we all know. So I think we might just be seeing people trying to get as much life as possible out of the tires, seeing how they feel after a caution when they've had the chance to cool down. But at this point, on the older people running the older sets, we might see a lot more people running that high line to try and preserve them and not push them too hard.
Well, let's see what happens. Still, the front guys have not been into the bits all the way down to Ben Tracy. Actually, it's further back than that. Actually, it's Eli Sazak has not been into the pits. So that's your top 15 here, not in the pits at the moment. So, yeah, they are going to be hitting stage break in about 7 laps time. So could they be trying to get to there? Do we think they could save enough tyres with the fact that obviously they've not had straight green flag run into 45, have they?
No, they haven't, and that definitely does help the tires quite a bit. Running at this pace, you're not wearing them down at all, and they have the chance to cool down a little bit. Speaking of people in the pits, looks like Daniel Simmons is still in there. Maybe he used his fast repair earlier. I'm not sure. Well, possibly some damage that just needs to be fixed.
Yeah, maybe he just hasn't used his fast repair at all, to be honest, and he's sitting there taking the damage off. You know, at the end of the day, they are running green and they are going to be going into that stage break at lap 45. So it's possible that they could be just running. He's just getting damage repaired because, well, he's going to be a few laps down at the moment. As you can see here, he's, what is he, nearly 3 laps down currently already. They are getting to line up once more. There is Barney ready to go for lap 38. Can we make the next 7 before we get to the stage break? We've got 2 lines of racing. We've got Neil Pearson out in front. He's going to be looking at Bolton once more, and he has gone already. Has Neil Pearson now, in an ideal scenario, settle into 2 wide rear? Would you not be looking at trying to do that?
Absolutely, you definitely should be. And again, they're already getting a little bit wide. It's very strange that they're just not making the lines you would see in other super speedways like Talladega. It's just, I wonder if people are just trying to make that pass and gain that position, hoping to keep it before either the next yellow or the stage break.
Well, maybe if they can get to the stage break, they might get some maybe not.
Speaking of next yellow.
Chad Gwinigsman here. Ah, man. Straight round on the 59. And unfortunately that was Brenton Henderson, who then made contact with the guys in front. That was the number 98 car. So there is Chad. He gets hit. Oh, he does as well, Brenton Henderson. But it's the number 5, I think, starts that one off, doesn't he? By the looks of it there as well. It looks like there's more contact coming further back from that number 5 car. Yeah, he does. Taps into Brenton Henderson, and then Henderson goes in from there. So, yeah, bit of a shame. But
yeah,
you know, caution free on lap 41.
It's racing, you know, it'll happen. Again, people just not aware of how cold those tires get going around under caution.
Yeah, but does that have something to do with the fact that there's all squirreling all over the place, do we think? And, you know, and that's where the contact keeps continually happening. This has surely got to be looking at taking the stage break as of about now, right? Because obviously we're going to be going into that area where that stage break has got to be, because it's going to be, before we even get going again, the stage break, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It should be, yeah. You're right. We should roll into the stage break with this. So you would think they would pull it forward a little bit. A lot of people diving into the pits now. Some people still deciding to stay out. I'm not sure what the play is there. I wonder if they're just waiting for the official call that this will be the stage break.
I think we're going to have to try and see who here as we wait to see whether or not this will be the official stage break. Here. It was Carl Dodson who started that one. Who started that last one. He got into Brenton and unfortunately spun Brenton there as well. So Carl Dodson is unfortunately the main protagonist of the incident there. And we'll see if I can get hold of to check. Unless they're going to be going once more. I tell you what we can do, actually. And we're going to have pace car lights. Are they going to be going off this time around? I don't think they are. They're going to be still on. Let's see if I can have a chat with Damaris to see what the situation is as well. We'll pop Damaris into the waiting room just so he is aware that he's going to be coming into the booth here. Damaris, welcome in, sir. How are you?
Oh, sorry, wrong channel. Doing good, James. How are you, man?
Not bad, man. Not bad. Just quickly, can you confirm or deny this will be the stage break, or are we still looking at stage break? Because we're not going to get up and running, are we, before the 45?
We should hear one lap shootout, I think.
Yeah, you are. Actually, the pace car lights are still on.
Yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna go for one lap here, because it happened right before, right as we were crossing for 5. So,
right, okay.
Should be enough coming up.
All right, man. So just to check on that one, how's it looking from your point of view? It's a tough race circuit. It's providing tough racing for some of these guys. What's it like from where you are down in 23rd?
We're just back here saving, man. So not a whole lot of racing happening yet. I got some tires. Hopefully I can flip the stage, stay out, and get some better track position for stage 2. But not a whole lot happened back here. We were just riding, so they're getting a little excited up ahead of us.
Yeah, they definitely are, man. I'm not going to lie. We're 3 courses deep, and we're only on lap 43. Does it bode well that we could get a good green flag running?
Yeah, I think the guys will calm down. I mean, it's a draft track. You know how it is. There's multi-lanes and draft locks. So I think the guys will calm down. I think we're getting a taste of it here. So hopefully we're good to go going forward.
All right, Damaris. Well, have a good one, buddy, and we'll catch up with you maybe as the race goes on.
Yes, sir.
Take care. Well, so they are going to have a one-lap shootout for that stage. So we are going to have to try and keep an eye on the likes of Pearson, on the likes of Gidder, Heitman, Taylor, Shoya, Villarreal, Lucas Abreu, and as well all the crew before we find out who will be that stage 1 winner and who's going to be taking that extra 10 points here. Right. Well, I've got my pen and paper ready. I'm ready to write it down. Who's going to take this stage win? Surely.
Yeah, Pearson does.
He's got the restarts, right? He's just got to look at jumping it, surely.
Yeah, he's been on the ball with those restarts, and he's got the advantage of everybody around him is also on old tires.
Well, he's not on fresh ones, mind you, either. So, for Pearson, this is where it's going to go. This is where it's going to be ready. This is where the racing's going to be happening. The pace car's in. What is Pearson going to do? Is he going to hold? Now he's going to go. He is going to go. One lap shootout for these stage points. Neil Pearson, Patrick Gitter, Heitman, Taylor, Shoya, all in that front 5 group there. And Jason Taylor, who, mind you, is up 22 positions. But I think this is going to be Pearson's. It's going to be at the end of 45. Don't forget, it's not going to be that beginning. But it looks like Neil Pearson might have this with Patrick Gitter coming up right behind him. It's going to be that battle further back as well. They're going to be almost 3 wide coming over the line and try and pick this one out. But it is Neil Pearson who is going to take the stage there. I think it might have been Shoya, might have been Gitter, or it might have been Heitman. It was a very big, well, run down to the line there as well, I think, on that one, Rio. They may need to go back and check out who got what on that one.
Yeah, it looked like Gitter just lost a ton of speed and ended up dropping back. And as they were crossing the line, they were all pretty close to each other. Obviously, with the track being different elevation, it's going to be a little hard to tell unless you get, that close camera angle on the start-finish line. But yeah, I think they're going to have to go back and see exactly who was where.
Yeah, it looked a definitely interesting one there. We will have a conversation with Neil Pearson, who is your stage 1 winner. We'll have a chat with Neil very, very shortly. Once here as well, once he starts wrapping up behind that pace car. Phil, got a funny feeling everybody's going to peel in. I just want to see if Neil Pearson's, because there's nothing worse than having a conversation with a commentator while you're trying to make sure that you're not going over the pit lane speed limit, right? So I'm going to give Neil a little bit of time here as well. We've got to be a little bit, considerate rear. I think that's the word we're looking for.
Yeah, it's very easy to startle a driver who's in the middle of a race, and hitting is, from a personal experience, pitting can be quite difficult to maintain the speed limit and come in at the right speed. And you end up getting a 40-second penalty in most cases for overspeed.
That's the thing, isn't it? You don't want to be giving yourself a penalty. Now, you can see pretty much that the entire field have rushed in on this one. I will prepare Neil. I'm going to move him down into the waiting room so he is aware that he would be coming in. We'll just wait for the other side of tyres to go up. And then we will have a chat with Neil Pearson. He is on his way out of the pits. And let's have a chat with your stage 1 winner, Neil Pearson. Neil, welcome into the booth. How are you, sir? Can you hear me?
I can, loud and clear.
How's it going, bud?
Yeah, pretty good. How about yourself?
Man, not bad. Not bad at all, to be honest. 20 to 4 in the morning, it's all good. I get to watch you go and take a stage 1 win. That weren't a bad start to the evening, was it?
It's pretty good. Can't complain. Just starting up the front and getting that stage win. It's good.
Yeah, you're getting your restarts up and running straight away, though. You're making good progress on your restarts.
Yeah, it's always good when you're the leader. You can just surprise everyone and go when you want. So it's good. Just get that gap, and when it's got that 1 lap shootout, that's really beneficial.
Yeah, it is. What's the plan for you then, sir? What's your ambitions throughout all of this? Because Super Speedway, Las Vegas, we're 4 cautions in. Don't really want to be leaking too many cautions here.
Hopefully we get some green flag running, and I've got a bit of a tyre advantage now, so you have some people up the front. So just going to see how the car runs in a pack. It runs pretty good up front, so we'll just see how it goes with air on it.
Long green flag run or short green flag run? What benefits your car the most?
Honestly, I'm not sure. So I'd like a long green run just to see how we go. Especially buried where I am. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, all right, no. Well, listen, we'll pop you back in your booth there, bud. Have a good one. And hopefully we might have a chat with you at the end down in Victory Lane.
Oh, that'd be nice. Have a good one.
And you, man. Take care. Well, there you go, Rhea. Not sure on how the car's going to react under the long green run or a short green run. So he's just going about doing his business as the Australian at the moment.
Sometimes it's just how you have to go through a race. You just kind of take it as it comes to you. So we'll see how he does. He's a little bit farther back than I think he might have liked, and a couple of people in front of him do have not brand new tires, but fresh enough that they should be pretty racy.
Yeah, you can see with Dobson at the moment, Carl Dodson there has got good set of tyres on him. He was running 35 on on 35, so he's only on 13 lap old tyres at the moment. Where Carl Ammon, of course, is on 26 lap old tyres. Stevens on 26. Keeby on 13, Hinkenbottom on 13 as well. So Damaris has moved himself up from when we last spoke to him. Did go into the pits on lap 36, mind you. So it could be a mixture of anybody's game really here, I think, at Vegas. And I think it is gonna be whoever can keep it out the wall, can keep it out of trouble, should, I would have thought, take the victory.
Yeah, it's gonna be really down to, like you said, keeping it out of the wall, but also you have to draft with the people in front of you. It really is a team game up until the end. That's when you should be going for your own race. But we just haven't been seeing people play that team game.
No.
Just even a couple of cars, 2 or 3 cars hooking up together in a line, giving a little bit of a bump draft would make all the difference in their race.
Yeah. I do wonder what the play is on that one, with that, because hooking up, being pushed or bump drafted along would be beneficial. I don't get why we're looking at this kind of... The way I generally put it is a jigsaw puzzle on a table, right? Somebody's just got the box, they've emptied out the pieces, and then we've got that rating, and that's what this looks like. Let's get this back up and running out here, and on lap 50, it is green. Carl Ammon there out in front in that mellow yellow machine with Carl Dobson, Benjamin Stevens battling it out behind them here as well. Matt Long, Chad Keeby, Damaris Hinkenbottom in the mix once more up front at the moment. He's jumped up an absolute ton of positions from when we last spoke to him down towards the back end of the field. He's done a great job. Up 27 is Damaris at the moment, but Matt Long up 13, Benjamin Stevens up 17, Carl Dodson up 9. Now we talk about gains in road circuits, and that is a massive thing. We talk about it here at NASCAR. It's not really as big a deal, is it? Because it could be one slip up and you're all the way down at the back again.
Yeah, and with a caution, all the time that you've lost, as long as you're on that lead lap, it doesn't really become as important. You kind of have to stop thinking about, oh, I've lost time here, and more just think about, I just need to stay on the lead lap and hope for another caution, which obviously we don't want to see too many of, but there are some cases where people in the back are just kind of hoping for one to happen.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you get dropped off, though, I think that's always going to be the case, isn't it? Let's be real. Everybody would like a caution as we go here on board with Dodson. This is making that inside line over Ammon. So a great move there. Brought it down to the inside over Carl Ammon, and Ammon now sitting in second place. Trust me, he says on the back of that car. Would you trust a NASCAR driver?
Depends on the situation. Obviously, we're talking on the track, but in a track like this, you kind of have to trust the drivers in front of you. I wonder if some of the reason we're not seeing so many hookups is because dirty air at this track is detrimental. It's horrible at this track. However, if you get into a real tight draft and a close enough pack, it's not really the worst thing in the world. Obviously, you're going to be pushing your tires a little bit harder in certain situations, and this track isn't the smoothest either, but it's just very odd we're not seeing people I understand not having two lines. What I don't understand is not having packs of 2 or 3 cars really hook up and bump a little bit.
Well, YouTube chat, that's a question for you. If anybody knows why we are not seeing even one line continue running, we're looking a little bit better now. I'm not going to lie, Dodson's out in front with Carl Ammon, so they are getting a little bit more consistent with the line. You can see here from the 92, which is Corey Harville, got the Ben Tracy, Knopf, Kibi, Long, Stevens in there. Well, as I say, that they then go and spread out, but now they hook back in here once more. You know, nobody is really massively far away. Taylor and Dicciani with Heitman, Aquijo here as well, and Henderson still fight in that line. There's still kind of trying to continue that thing. But as you say, I think that's the problem, isn't it? You know, you do end up moving faster if you are in a pack. And that's just a surprise that we're not seeing either two lines. We're not seeing anything, unfortunately, for them guys. We have lost Simmons, Beck and Llewellyn here. As you can see, that top 20 cycle through. These guys are doing a stellar job once more. Too wide, further up here. A lot more movement with Damaris Hinkenbottom, Neil Pearson. Pearson now, obviously, your stage 1 winner, latching onto the back of Patrick Gitter. He's got fresher tyres, as he says there. That's going to play a part as well, Ria.
Yeah, especially this late in the game with so many people having really different tire strategies. You're probably going to see a lot of the people on the newer tires start to make up some ground as the older tires start to fade away a bit more. A little bit more on that point of why aren't we seeing two lines? Two isn't... I had to think about it for a little while. I don't know why it didn't click with me before, but the dirty air here, two lines maybe not the best, but this one line that we're seeing, they're starting to get a little bit better, starting to hook up with a couple of the drivers, and that'll help everybody gain a bit on that pack that's separating up at the front. You really need to try to catch them before you lose them too much.
I think the problem is obviously Pearson here. He's got Gitter in front of him, who basically pitted on the same lap. And he's got Pearson behind him, who's tucked up behind Dyson, who was your pole man, but he pitted on lap 41. Gitter's just making that move around the inside. I think at one point we're going to be almost free wide here as well. Pearson's kind of getting stuck now. He kind of wants to try and make that move. He wants to benefit of them fresher tyres, but he's got Gitter, who is one in front of Dyson now, who's also not on massively old tyres, are they? And it's kind of now all on Pearson's pace to try and get past. He's got the Gitter in front of him in that 21 Chevy there, so Pearson has managed to clear Dyson, but is he going to be able to make the most of what tyres he has got now to try and catch up with that pack? Because as you say, Corey Harville is 1.5 seconds up the road at the moment.
Yeah, Pearson is making great use of those tires, though. He's actually making passes up on those higher lines, so it does help a little bit. His pace is outstanding, actually. You were talking earlier about not making the pass. I think it was more of just being patient, making sure you have the room to do it. Otherwise, you're going to cause a caution. And while that's not such a bad thing with this gap, you don't want to be involved in that caution, obviously. You don't want to risk the damage to your own car.
No, you definitely don't. And Pearson's now leading the pack. He has cleared Gitter. So it's all going to be on Pearson's pace now. You can see the running order of cars there. Chevy, Ford, Chevy, and a Camry. The only Camry as well. Up the front in 5th place. The next Camry all the way down in 25th. With Eli Sazak. So Camrys are not doing too well at this circuit. Chevy, of course, very dominating the top 15. Car of choice seems to be that one. Ria, what about you? What would you be looking at running and taking on this point?
All right, here, don't throw shade at the Camry, because I always drive the Camry. And the reason for that is these cars are close enough to each other in terms of performance that it generally isn't going to make much of a difference. I think the reason we're seeing the Camrys so far down is just there's not that many of them. And it tends to come down to a lot of these people like NASCAR quite a bit and view it as an American sport, as we were talking about earlier. And the Camry is obviously not an American car, so people tend to favor the more American cars, and from what I've seen.
Ooh, Is that right, though? Do we think? Is that the reason why we're not seeing Camrys, you reckon?
I think it is. I've been told by most people on JPB know that I'm pretty new to ovals. At this point, I've gotten a decent amount of experience. But in terms of time in it, I'm new enough that when I joined, I had to go asking around for, what is their car that I should be picking, and almost everybody unanimously told me they are basically the same car.
Right. Okay. Well, there might be.
Listen, if you doubt me so much, we can get a third person, hop on the track, get 3 of us and go racing. We'll see who wins.
There's no point telling me I'd have to go racing on a controller because I don't have a steering wheel. So pulling me out on circuit, I would be literally completely useless. As I say, I'd have to drive on a controller just so it would. Be fair for you guys, because I wouldn't want to plug the steering wheel in. I'm not a NASCAR man, but if I plug that steering wheel in, you could be in trouble, Rhea. You could be in trouble.
Yeah, we'd be in trouble by how many accidents there'd be on the track.
How rude!
When's the last time you used your wheel again? How long has your son had that for?
He's had it quite a while now. So, credit where credit's due. It's definitely not used by me. Let's put it that way. So, hey, I can still drive. I can still just turn left. It's easy, right? Everybody does it. We just turn left.
No, it's easy for the first 2 or 3 laps until your body starts to feel it real hard.
At my age, it probably won't be my body, it'll be my bladder. But, hey, we'll give it a go. I'm not going to lie. It probably will be that might go first rather than that. Either that or on me, my old calves or something. I need to go and have a sleep or pit for a couple of 10 minutes and have a quick 10-minute snooze, to be honest. But look, at the end of the day, that's the thing. I don't know, to be honest, if car choices regarding NASCAR, even iRacing, there isn't a lot of difference, and you can look up stats as well, guys. There really isn't. It's very track dependent, driver dependent, setup dependent. Could be a big thing here as well. Dodson and Long are breaking away here from Knopf, Kibi, Harville, Tracy, Pearson. Pearson's managed to get himself into 7th. He's bringing Gitter with him. Whoa! Where is it? There it is. Carl Amon and Edward Scheuer. Oh, Amon there. Yep.
Oh, he just got a little too close.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there was contact from Scheuer behind. I think that's going to be the thing, isn't it? Because I'm wondering if that unsettling of Amon was not off his own back.
I'm not thinking it was. I think there was a little tap to go into it.
Yeah, there was it looked like there was a little bit of a tap there, and maybe the nose cam might give us a better idea of just how close we are. Yes.
Oh, very close.
Very close, and there was, and then that did also not help here either. So caution number 5 of the evening on lap 71. 19 away from stage break. We almost made it, but we're going to have to go again. These gentlemen are going to have to go again. As we can see there, Edward Scheuer is into the pits. Dodson's now out in front here. Well, 5 cautions in. It's going to be tough to stop this. That was just a misplacement, I believe, of a car bump drafting into a corner, which never, ever works. And we can say it till we're blue in the face here, Rhea. It does never work when they're bump drafted into a corner.
No, it doesn't. I'm actually kind of curious if Aubin got loose or if it was more... It didn't really seem like there was a ton of contact as his car started going out, so I'm wondering if it was a little bit of netcode there, but mostly it did look like the bump kind of helped that accident occur.
Oh, there was definitely a bump there. We're going to have a look back from the gearbox to Carl Hammond. Look, there it is. He's already in it.
Yeah, that right there. More what I mean is this right here. It looked like he started going out a little bit before actually being tapped.
Well, either way, unfortunately for Carl Hammond, he's, all the way down in 31st place, has had to go into the pits as well. And I believe he may have been actually out now. Unfortunately, it looks like possibly we may have lost a few people here as well. I've got a funny feeling it's Brenton Henderson still running. So the top 30 are the final place. Brenton Henderson here is the final man on track. So we have lost Amon, Phelps, Shoya, Simmons, Beck and Llewellyn. So we are down to a 30-car field now. So there we go. Tom Weston, morning all. Morning, Tom. How are you, dear? It's only 4 o'clock in the morning. Welcome in. Thank you very much for that one. We've got 127 laps to go of Las Vegas Super Speedway. And so far, we are 5 cautions into this race. Stage break was at 45. We got a next one at 90. And Carl Dodson, Matt Long, Jamie Knopf, Chad Keeby, and Corey Harville. Ben Tracy, Neil Pearson, Patrick Gitter, Andrew Dyson, and Sean O'Brien are your top 10 at the moment. Working.com. I am, and you are as well now, I know. Early morning trucker, Ria is Tom Weston.
Oh, interesting. I've been wondering about how that life is lately.
I couldn't do what he does. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I'm up late, but he's up. I'm up late. He's up very early. So yeah, I like my sleep too much. I don't think I could be a trucker. I'm not really built for trucking. You know what I mean? I think there's more fat on a Rabin Redbreast than there is on me, to be honest.
It's very different over there than it is to over here, because over here it's a lot of sitting in traffic and getting yelled at and ignored by other drivers because you're slower on the road, so it's it's your fault.
Yeah, but sure, it's a very solitude lifestyle, isn't it? You know what I mean? You must love you must love your own company. I just press the autopilot button. Well, maybe.
Couple of years.
Yeah, you must love your own company, and just sit and talk to yourself while you're driving around the country.
Like podcasts and audiobooks and such.
Well, I don't think Tom listens to audiobooks. I'm not going to lie. I don't think Tom doesn't seem to me an audiobook individual. Maybe I'm wrong, and he'll ring me later and probably tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think he's an audiobook guy.
I mean, you wouldn't think I'm an audiobook person. I definitely don't think I seem like one, but I listen to them at work.
Yeah, you haven't spoken to Tom. Tom's a very gruff, manly man, shall we say. But let's get this race up and running once more on lap 75. Dodson's going to leave us away here as we go into 76. Matt Long, Chad Keeby, Jamie Knopf, your top 5 with Corey Harville just finishing up. And again, we are literally breaking up like a jigsaw puzzle. There's no continual lineage. There's no real locking in with everybody. And that, I think, is going to be the story, one of the stories of this race. Why are we not locking up into 2 lines or at least 1 continual line? Because you will go faster. Why are we spread out over the break? Well, I'm going to find out from I'm going to make a note here. Stage break on 90. I'm going to ask the stage winner, why are we not locking up here either? That's going to be an interesting one, I think, once more. But Carl Dodson did a great job. Got the jump right at the beginning with Matt Long tucked up right behind him.
Yeah, I think the answer you're going to get is probably because of the dirty air. Because, as I said before, it is gritty heavy here. But if you're close enough to the car in front, you do mitigate it by quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's the closer you are, right, the less dirty air you're going to get. Now, obviously, you don't want to bump draft in corners because, as we've seen, that never, ever works out for anyone. And I'm not saying that just purely because I want to be spiteful. I'm saying it because it doesn't actually work. We've seen it multiple times of people. As these cars go thundering past us there as well. We've seen the attempts of multiple people. I've seen multiple people try bump drafting into a corner. Doesn't work. You end up spinning the car out there as well. Ben Tracy settling back in that 63 machine there with Corey Harville in that 92 Monster. Chevrolet behind it. Pearson's coming back through again. He's trying to make his way back through the grid, isn't he? He's sitting in 8th place at the moment.
Yeah, and he's been doing a really good job of it so far. He's been getting quite a good run pretty much every corner. Even now on the straight, he's taking that high line and he's just able to, not a ton of time, but you'll see coming out of this corner here, he takes those corners really fast.
He definitely does. Robert Anderson, this isn't Dega, or Daytona. The goal on restarts is to pass people for track position and stay out of dirty air. Now, that is what we said. Now, what we were talking about in conjunction with the double lines or single lines is look at where they are on track at the moment, right? And you can see currently they're kind of all spread out across the circuit. Well, have a look here, and you can see that they're not in any one set pack, right? And you can see that on the thing that they're kind of spread out a little bit. It's a little bit more of a jigsaw puzzle than it is a line. Now, what we were talking about earlier on is what is happening there with the 24 and 92 of Sean O'Brien and Corey Harville, where for that brief moment they were in one continual line. Now, as we know, impact racing in draft heavy tracks as well, like Vegas, it's more easier and consistent, as there was a little tap on Lucas Arbro there as well from Derek Heitman gave him a little bit of a tap. As you're more locking up together, you would mitigate that dirty air, and I think that's what we were mentioning. You would mitigate that dirty air, and we were just obviously talking about why they're not locking more into it. Now, if you've got an opinion on that, please put it in YouTube chat, and we will have a chat about it, and we can discuss it as we're on lap 82 of 201 here, nearly at the stage breaker 90, nearly at that 100 to go mark, and that's got to be a milestone for some of these drivers, isn't it? 100 laps down, 101 to go. That's got to be a good feeling when you're in the car.
Yeah, like you said, especially when you're in that car, you're really taking down the laps towards the end of the race. Maybe not right now, maybe a couple of drivers, feeling the fatigue, but right now you're just kind of focusing on keeping it clean. I had mentioned before that track position here does mean a lot, so making passes and such, it's not very crazy to see that, and I'm not surprised we're not seeing two lines, as I've said before. What I am more surprised, and what James and I were talking about more, is that you're not really seeing people that start to lose the bigger packs kind of hook up and try to gain on them. It's more just once you lose it, even if you have a couple of cars around you, they're just not really working together to try and get it back. And like I said, I'm not surprised we're not seeing two lines, but I'm more surprised we're not seeing 2 to 3 cars work together.
Yeah, you can see when we showed the championship standings up earlier on, Patrick Gitter was in third. He was only 26 points back behind Taylor. Taylor's not here this evening, and neither is Adam Benefiel, if I'm not mistaken. Either I haven't seen Benefiel, so this is a good opportunity for Gitter to start making some moves in that points position and see if he can get close enough over the next few, obviously over this one as well at Vegas, before we go to Homestead next week. He's sitting in that second place at the moment. He's got a 35 points position if he stays where he is, and that 35 points will put him over Taylor. So it is an opportunity for Gitter here to move himself over Taylor and get himself into that second place within the championship, that little step closer to Adam Benefiel as we go into the last 3 races.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning real quick for anybody who may not follow the league, may just be a bit new here. We are talking about Jedi Taylor. Currently, Jason Taylor is running down in 12th, so different Taylor. Just wanted to clear that up for anybody who's not familiar.
So he's not a Jedi? Oh.
Jason Taylor? No, I don't think he is a Jedi.
Oh. Wow. Guess he's not my father. So there we go. I'm sorry.
Technically, he was a Sith, but okay.
Ah, shush. You know, he didn't. He started
Like Star Wars.
He started as a Jedi. You know what I mean? Don't forget, he was Anakin Skywalker before he come into, you know, the monster, I presume, that some would call him, that he did turn into. So technically, he was a Jedi at one point. Jason Taylor is Jedi Taylor. Jason Taylor is Jedi Taylor. So Jason Taylor is... Oh my God, why can't we just keep names the same? So you... Okay, Jason Taylor is Jedi Taylor then, since Robert Anderson.
Yep.
Right, okay.
That's right. I did forget that he did mention that before, that it's a nickname that he goes by.
So, okay, so Jedi Taylor there is a nickname, right? And we've got another caution here as well.
Yep.
Unfortunately, on lap 90, it is actually the stage break here as well.
Yes.
So Dodson gets in. Yeah, Dodson gets the stage win. Gitter picks up points there as well in that stage break as well. So Gitter also picks up another 9 points. So well done there for Gitter, also making progress once more through the field. Let's get a hold of Carl Dobson. Where are you, young sir? There he is. Now, I am obviously going to do the same situation. Wait to see if he does pit there. He does.
Hello.
We'll give him a minute. We've been in this boat before. I don't want to move him. And then he's gets a jump scare of his life when I end up talking to him. So let's just make sure he is in his pit box. He has set everything here as well. Robert Anderson, great broadcaster. Thank you very much for that one. Kyle Dodson, we'll move you down into the waiting room. Get up and running again, sir. Get out of the pits and we'll have a chat. And there you go. We can bring in your stage 2 winner, Kyle Dodson. Kyle, can you hear me?
I can.
How are you?
I'm doing delightful. A little bit of Trust Me vodka in my system. It makes everything feel better. And in these cold Florida nights, got to do something to stay warm.
Well, this is also true. You know, I'm just drinking a cup of coffee, but, you know, Carl, yours seems more exciting than mine, to be honest. Stage 2 winner, 10 points on the board. Okay, what's the plan for the rest of the race now? Are we going to see Dodson down in pit victory lane? Do we think come the end?
Wreckers or checkers? That's the only thing I'm here for. The Trust Me vodka told me to bring back the wheel or the flag. That's all they want from me.
Okay, well, can we not have a repeat of lap 39, though, where you did end up getting yourself into a wreck one, Mr. Dodson, didn't you, with Brendan Henderson? What do you mean? You sound like a sorry puppy, Carl. I'm not going to lie. I know.
I felt bad because he got a little loose. He had older tires. I had new tires. And I was there, and I came over the radio, and I apologized immediately. I was like, oh, that sucks. I did not want to get into him. But, you know, racing happens. Everything, you know, we try not to get into anybody, but every now and then racing happens, and you got to own up and be a man and admit your faults. And that was my fault there.
That's the biggest thing, isn't it? Most people just want an apology after a wreck, Carl, don't they?
It sounds good, but God, it sucks saying it. It sounds bitter, but, you know, we do it.
Yeah, we do it because obviously that's part of rubbing his racing within iRacing, and at the end of the day, I think as long as we apologise, Brenton Henderson, I'm sure he will be fined for you. No more breaks now. Straight run to the end. How do you think you're going to get on? What do we think of your tyre life at the moment? Because you've just taken tyres in the pits. Did you take all 4 or just the 2 on the out?
All 4. I got enough sets to get me through and extras.
Okay, so what's the plan? How long do you think you could take the tyres now?
I'm going to go, stop, 4 tires, go, checker.
And you haven't told me once how many laps you're going to be going for, Carl.
No, I'm waiting for the crew chief. You know, somebody is down there eating ice cream. They'll tell me later.
Okay, mate. Well, I'm going to let you go, bud. Enjoy yourself. One more lap to green, and let's see what you can do, Carl.
Outstanding. Thank you for what you do and what you do for this league and what you do for the racers to get their names out there.
No worries, buddy. Have a good one. It's been a pleasure as always.
Toodle.
Toodles! Is it very high spirits, Carl Dodson? I think it might be a couple of sheets to the window, mind you.
He did mention he was hitting the vodka a little bit, so that could have something to do with it. But yes, he was very cheerful.
He was as well. So Robert Anderson's back in listening mode. Thank you, Robert, for that one as well. So let's see what can Dodson do. One more lap to green. Straight run now. 108 laps. No cautions. That's my prediction.
I predict your prediction is wrong.
I'm predicting my prediction is wrong as well. I'm not going to lie. So, you know what I mean? I'm predicting that as well. But look, optimism, okay? Optimism. That's the plan. We've got to be optimistic. People have got to settle down. Don't start getting excited. Just settle down and run. Tick off them laps. And then, 25 to go, start playing that chess movement. Start getting your car in that position. Start, getting it where it needs to be. 10 to go, you start making your moves. 5 to go, you're definitely on your moves. Last lap, go, 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 and let's see what happens. But let's get this up and running after the stage break here as well. 9 on lap 93 is Dodson out in front here, flying along with Patrick Gidder, Jamie Knopfler, Pearson, Dyson, Tracy, Heitman, and O'Brien. Your top 8 at the moment here as well at Vegas. 94 to go, Rhea. Where are we at mentally? Where are we at in the car at the moment?
Well, for the drivers, I think at this point, those siege breaks really help you just kind of bring it back, take a little bit of a, not really a break, but you get to kind of let yourself rest just a tiny bit and mentally refocus. So I think right now a lot of people are probably going to be pretty charged and ready to go.
So you're just using this stage, you take these stage breaks in the middle to kind of settle down a little bit. I'm not going to say grab a drink because most of these guys have probably got drinks beside them. Or if they're really fancy, they might have somebody giving drinks to them. I don't know. But are you just now settling in and just trying to get over that 100 mark, over that sort of 110, over that 120, and seeing that just to take the laps off? Because 201 is a long time, isn't it? It's a long time on a racetrack.
Yeah, there's still a lot of race left. We're not even halfway through the whole race at the moment. You mentioned it, you do just kind of take the stage breaks as not a time to relax, I wouldn't say, but a time to refocus and just kind of untense your muscles and stuff like that, and just kind of get yourself back into it, ready for the restart. So I think we're seeing a couple of people just kind of getting ready to race, and some people already making moves. Pearson's already less than 0.06 seconds behind Dodson, so I think he's getting ready. Ooh, he's making a move right now. As I was saying, he's getting ready for it.
Yeah, he is just coming under the underside there of Dodson on that outside line. Stage 1 winner Pearson, 10 points. Stage 2 winner Dodson, 10 points. Great run. So this is the battle of the stage winners out in front at the moment, with an Australian versus the American, and Pearson is that Australian. Welcome in, Dustin Hall. Thank you so much for joining us here. And don't forget, the 100% Cup Series have got a full lap race at Vegas tomorrow. 267 laps of Vegas. So, yeah. 267 rear. You don't fancy doing 100% championship?
I absolutely would love to be honest. Maybe not oval for me personally. I would love to, and I have been called crazy for this many times. I'd love to run an F1 100% league.
Ugh. In what sim though? Are we talking F1 sim?
No, absolutely iRacing.
Okay, so you're limited with just a W13 then?
Yeah, you do have the downside of, the cars aren't all that different, but, well, they're not different at all, but still, it's still fun. It comes down to the driver at that point, and we do have the tire sets in iRacing. Unfortunately, no wet weather running, but I would say F1 2023 is more on the arcadey side. It's not a perfect sim, It's not an arcade game, but it's not super sim.
What do you mean by that?
There's somebody put it in a perfect way, and I can't think of what it's called. Like a simcade, I think is what they called it, where it has a lot of the sim aspects, but the company that makes it doesn't necessarily try to make the driving 100% perfect. It's pretty close, but it's not completely there.
Are you saying then that the driving within iRacing is 100% perfect?
Well, no, not 100%, but closer.
So are we looking at a simcade? Now, listen, this is where the debate comes in. Dustin, I'll be there, my friend. The Jedi and I have unfinished business. That is, of course, Jason Taylor, who's out here tonight getting the practice in as well. Dustin, you should have been out here getting some practice in before you get on to tomorrow, mate, before you go into your 267 laps here, because Jason Taylor's out here at the moment from San Antonio as well, doing a stellar job in that Ford, up 14 places currently at the moment, up 13 places, sitting in 14th place. That game sim scenario. Now, I spoke to a very high IR driver, and basically it come up that I said to him in the interview, I said, "Oh, you called it a game?" And he went, "It is." I said, "What do you mean?" Yes. He said, "It is a game." He said, "I sit down and I play a game." I said, "Is it not a sim?" "No, it's a game, James." He went, "It's a game. We're all playing a game with virtual race cars in a virtual world, driving on virtual tracks." He said, "It's a game." Now, that does cause a debate at times, because there are people who go, "It's a real-world sim, it's a real-world sim, it's a real-world sim." It's close, but I don't think it's quite F1 real-world close. And I think there's a lot more things that this game needs to make it that close, I think, Rhea, and that's the thing, especially with certain aspects, damage models, driver models at times, some of them are a little bit ropey, consistency is a different thing as well. So I think it's almost there, and it is close to being, nearly guaranteed a 100% sim, but I don't think it's just quite there just yet. As we can see back here in 22nd place, Tanamati running with Bruno Melo, the Brazilian there as well. It's getting multinational, and that's a great thing. It's had a massive boom since everybody was stuck in their homes for God knows how long. And at the end of the day, that's how the iRacing, sim racing worlds boomed off, because of that situation with that lockdown that all of us unfortunately had to endure. But, the game sim thing, maybe everything's a simcade for now.
Well, to be fair, the simcade was more of like a definition for is this more of a simulator or more of an arcade game? And in the context, simcade was more like, all right, so it has a lot of simulator aspects, but there are certain aspects about it that are more towards the arcade style of racing game, like your Need for Speed and such. I wouldn't consider iRacing arcadey in any way, but there are aspects about the F1 2023 games, the 2020X, etc. games, where they do have certain things that just aren't as one-to-one, or aren't as near one-to-one that as iRacing, such as iRacing has the tire model they work on constantly. And you did mention there are damage models that need to be worked on, but a lot of iRacing.
There's gonna be, hold up. Oh, here he comes. Oh.
Great move by Mark to just barely dodge that car.
Yeah, Randy Belk looked like he had a bit of a moment. Now, was he assisted? He was. well, not assisted, unfortunately. It looks like there from Randy's point of view, he looked like he'd come down. That is a heavy impact. There's nowhere for... Oh! Wow.
He's going to need to be towed back.
He's going to need to be towed back if he's used his fast repair as well. He's going to be in there for a while, unfortunately. For Belk, that was Mark Paget, who we was on board with at that moment of time there. So, yeah, Randy is still in the pits here, and I think he is in a world of hurt. That was a big, big impact, and we can see that from Belk's onboard and see what he saw there as well. That, yeah, Dustin Hall, it literally, that was an ouch moment here as well. He got tapped, I believe, from the 50 car, and that sent him in. Here he goes. He's got nowhere to go. Boom. Ow. And that is Belk going round there as well. And then we've got Paget, who literally was coming along. We're trying to see it from his perspective. We just about caught that on the onboard there. We were on board with him at that moment in time, but that is got to hurt. It's a good job we are in this virtual world that we live in. No dramas there as well. I'm wondering if that was Ben Stevens, but here he goes. Mark Paget. Woof. Well, good move from there, and it was Ben Stevens who was involved with Randy Belk. So unfortunately for Belk, yeah, and I'm wondering if that's him going to be done here as well.
I think he may just be in the process of getting towed currently. I'm not sure what his fast repair situation is looking like, but unfortunately getting towed at all generally costs you about 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, when you're at an oval and they can just tow you through the field and then it takes you 2.5 minutes or whatever. But then again, you definitely don't want to get towed at Nords, because no matter where you are on the circuit, it always seems to take you about 9 minutes. So you got to be a little bit careful. So, well done, Marky Mark, he says. Yeah, Mark Paget squeezing through there, did an absolute stellar job. I wonder if we could have a chat with Randy. I normally like having chats to people during the race just to see how they're getting on and what their situation is. And let's see if we can pull Randy into the booth with us. Randy, how are you? Just seen the site of your massive accident there, sir. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you, brother.
How is it, mate? You've been in a while. What's your fast repair situation? Did you still have it?
Yeah, I've still got it.
Well, you probably haven't got it now, Randy. I'm not going to lie. What was your intake? What was your take on that one?
I just got loose, and I knew I had the, I don't know who it was. I had a car above me. I didn't want to get into him, and the car just got loose, and, you know, back end come around and got the car below me.
Yeah,
touched him a little bit and just turned it, you know.
Yeah, Ben Stevens. Yeah, Ben Stevens was the car below you there, bud. As you say, it was either going to be up or down. It was going to be one of them, Randy, wasn't it? It was kind of a choice. Nothing's going to be perfect, but a decision was a decision, bro.
Yeah, just wasn't much I do. I was just trying to keep a hold of it. I knew it was coming around, so.
Yeah, that's going to put you about 3 or 4 laps down by the time you get out of the pits there, mate, as well. You know, you're going to carry on racing for the rest of this?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn what laps I can. Yeah, you never know what can happen in these long races. So.
No, yeah, I do fully agree with you, and never know what can happen in NASCAR in general there, bud. Well, listen, glad you're okay. Glad you've still got your fast repair, mate, and look forward to seeing you back on track very, very shortly.
Okay, man. Thank you.
No worries, bud. Have a good one. Well, okay, so we're still fast repaired up for Randy. That's going to be good, because that would have been a long old wait repair there, Rio, wouldn't it, with all of that debris across the track?
With the amount of damage he had to his car, that might have actually been him out of the race if he didn't have that fast repair.
I agree. Lap 113. We are knocking the laps down here. I didn't quite get my green flag run right to the end there, Rio, so it didn't quite work.
No, not quite. Close, so close.
Well, I wasn't close, really, was I? I went 29 laps. Oh, no, 19 laps. from the stage break. So, you know, I was close. No, I wasn't anywhere near it, to be blatantly honest, but there we go. I still got the 32. I believe sure is still sure. Yeah, so we are back out to 32 runners on track at the moment. At one point, it did drop down. Here is Dodson. The pace car's going in. We are going to be back up and running here at Vegas. It's going to be Dodson leading away with Pearson, with Knopf, with Tracy, all getting us up and running. Dodson's made that jump as well. Pearson's looking strong in this second half of this race. Now, we're above the 100 mark. He's made some good progress on his tyres, went in for the stage, and now he's looking strong, isn't he, on lap 114?
Yeah, he's looking very strong. The gap between... Well, I was looking at the gap between, but it doesn't really matter because we just had a caution, so the gap between everybody is quite close.
Nice, well done. Well noticed. Good job.
A little bit of a brain fart.
That's all right. That's all right. Don't worry. Oh, we've all been there, I can tell you that much. And I have some wonderful brain fart moments here. But, you know, look, I just think that they've just got to keep this going. Pearson's got to keep this contact with Dodson. Knopf's always been around there as well. He's up 15. Now, the last few times we've been at the front end of the grid, he's always been around. And now you've got this middle pack. Diciani, Gidder, Scrumeda, O'Brien, Kirby, you know, Pearson, Taylor's all in there as well. We're starting to see little bits of moves now. Is this where the people are starting to get a little bit twitchy, a little bit itchy with their fingers, I should say with their feet, and they're now starting to make moves and think, right, I've got to get going a little bit here, 1.8 seconds back or whatever from the leaders. Is this where the moment starts changing here, Rhea, from that nice gentle racing to this free wide racing we have got on track at the moment?
Yeah, I think right now people are kind of... It's the second half of the race. Track position here is very important, and I think right now people are going to start fighting a little bit harder for that track position just to make up places and try and keep those places as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little more, not rough racing, but maybe some more aggressive moves.
Ooh, well, let's see here as well. You can see the top 8 on their stint lamps currently as well. Dodson's been into the bits here 3 times already. Lap 22, he went 22 laps, then he went 13, then he went 55, and now he's running 27 currently at the moment. He did say he's got tyres for days, his leader, so he's going to run them out, go in, get another 4, do the same thing again. He never told me how long he was going to go for. He just said that was his plan. Pearson's another man on 28. You can see the top 8 all went in on 90. In fact, to be honest, the top 20 went in on 90 here as well. So that top 20 are all going to be running around about the same pace at the moment, do we think, regarding in conjunction with where their tyres are at?
It's hard to say around the same pace because everybody's pace is going to be a little bit different depending on their experience and the practice they put into the track. But in terms of the tires, yes, everybody should be right around the same tire deg and getting about the same from the tires as everybody else around them.
Yes, I think that's going to be the key here. You can maintain your tyres, you might be all right. Tanner Marty is up 2 places behind Ben Stevens, of course, who was involved with that Randy Belt, but as he said, he didn't really have a lot of choice. It was either going to be up or down, and unfortunately, he got the person down there behind him. So Dyson currently at the moment running with Phelps behind him. Now, I want to try and see if I can get a look at Phelps' livery. That does look rather gorgeous, I've got to be honest. For Phelps here, let's go on the left front. It's the Mitre 10 Camaro. That livery does look good, I'm not going to lie. There's some very pretty cars here this evening, isn't there, really? As well, from some of these guys in this league. So well done to all of you guys who's put the effort in to put a nice livery on the car. And a good job there as well. Bruno Melo here in that number 78, the Brazilian at the moment, racing away up 15 places as well. So there's a lot of consistency with some of the top runners. You know, they're managing to hold on to their gains. Mello, Lucas Subra, of course, is another one that's moved up. Chad is down 8 positions, but Francesco Villarreal around him is up 7. So there's some good, nice little consistent drivers who have kept it clean, kept it on track, and made positions in the process.
Yeah, there's a lot of really clean running from the front pack. Pearson dropping down just a little bit, but it might be a little bit of tire conservation there. We might see some of the front runners start to differentiate their strategy instead of just trying to gain the position. You don't want to lose too many positions, obviously, but you might see different tire strategies at this point, especially considering everybody has the same degradation, so it's going to be much more beneficial to stretch out your tires at this point.
Yeah, Kib there just running that wall up the outside of coming out the entrance of 4 there. Unfortunately got caught up against the wall, kind of magnetized it there in that Jordan-esque Camry. I'll say the Jordan-esque because obviously Michael Jordan's on the front there. They're probably the greatest basketball player of all time. Some may argue with me, some may not. Some may say, actually, James, you know what? You're correct. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's the one with the goals and the object of sports. Yes.
Goals?
Just basket. It
Are you,
doesn't have a motor in it, so I don't pay attention to it.
No, it doesn't. It's where they bounce the ball from one end of the other, and then they end up putting it in the basket the other end. Ria Subra, go and Google basketball, will you?
All right, I was being a little facetious there. I know what basketball is. I'm just gonna watch it.
Yeah. They say that now, but secretly we know the truth. Right, let's have a look. I believe Cameron King here got himself caught up. I want to try and get back just before that with Cameron King.
I wonder if you got a little loose coming out of the corner.
Yeah, I'm wondering that as well.
Does look like it from what we're able to see at the moment.
Just trying to get back just a little bit further. There you go. He got into it with Kip.
Yeah, just that tap on the front sends the car around, and all control is gone at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. On lap 126 there. And King and Gibb are just getting into it a little bit. And unfortunately, that was the end result. So 8th caution of the evening. In we go once more with that rush into the pits. 1:27 on the clock. Heitman managed to stay out just, I should think. Villarreal is another one. Harville is another one. And Damaris is another one there as well. Well, that was an interesting move. And not quite seen that one before there as well from Heitman, who decided against going into the pits.
Yeah, as I was just saying before we got the caution, we're probably going to see a couple of people differentiate their tire strategy at this point in the game. We might see a couple of people trying to stretch them out to run the fresher tires as the other people are running the older tires. So lose a little bit of time now to the people on the fresh tires and gain it back when the roles are reversed.
Yeah, now some interesting information. Mandy has just come into the YouTube chat. Welcome in, Mandy. Thank you very much for talking to us here as well. The livery of Ruben Phelps is of a Kiwi, as he is from New Zealand. So, yes. There we go. Ruben Phelps.
I did see the Kiwi on the side of the car. I forgot that the Kiwi was on it is currently on the New Zealand flag, is it not, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, not in iRacing. Apparently not.
No, I believe they had a flag making competition or something like that where all of the suggestions were of Kiwis, and a lot of them were of Kiwis shooting lasers out of their eyes.
Nice. That would have been an interesting one.
That would have been a very interesting country flag.
Yeah, it would have been. So, Ruben Phelps there. The Kiwi with that nice livery. I do like that livery. You can pass that on, Mandy. Tell him James said he was very impressed with your livery. So, well done there as well. So
Yeah, any of the liveries like that where they're pretty close to symmetrical are really rough to do on these cars, because you can believe it, these cars not symmetrical.
no, as you found out yourself, young Ria Subra, when you were designing a livery on your car there as well, to come in and assist and put you into contact with a livery designer.
That was probably the worst part about these designing livery for these cars, is that because they're not symmetrical, nothing lines up. You will make everything for one side of the car, flip it, line it up, and bring it into the game, and it's just so far off, and you have to just tweak it endlessly.
Well, there we go, guys. We have got 71, near enough 71 laps left on the clock here for this battle at Vegas, and it has been a battle here as well. It has been a battle, Ria, hasn't it? It's been 8 cautions deep. 2 were obviously forced cautions with the 2 were the unforced cautions of the stage break, and we've had 6 forced cautions on lap 130. Pace car lights are off. They're now going to be lining up here again, getting ready to go. Man.
All in all, 6 cautions isn't really that bad.
No, I fully agree with you. You know, as you and I both know, we've seen races with
18,
14, 15, 16 plus. So at the end of the day there, Kiwis and Aussies in 100% Cup. Love it. Well, yeah, that's the thing. You've got quite a lot of Australian and Kiwis here today. I'm going to say more Australians. You've got Pearson, Aquijo, Dyson, Henderson. They're all Australian. You've got Phelps, who's a Kiwi. Then you've got the Brazilians of Mello and Arbrew. So, and the Canadian of Travis Scrimada, who unfortunately looks like he may be out at the moment for Travis Scrimada. But let's pick up on the front as well, because we are going to be getting up and running once more with Derek Heitman. So, yeah, you're going multinational, Dustin Hall. Multinational at the moment. There again. Pace car's going to be coming in once more. Let's get this up and running. Let's get it going, gentlemen. Can we get to the end of the race? 71 and laps to go, and it is green. Heitman out in front, of course, on a completely different tyre strategy to everybody else. Corey Harville, Francisco Villarreal there as well. Damaris Hinkenbottom pitted on 111. He didn't go into the pits there either. Carl Dodson on 127. So now this is where Dodson's tyres here, Ria, are going to show through.
Yeah, like we were talking about those different strategies. It's going to be very interesting to see how people handle it and where people go. Somebody goes.
Where are you going?
Dodson through the infield.
Still.
Oh.
Is that can't be a caution. Break. Oh, it was.
Maybe premature on that caution there. He was going through the infield, but he didn't collect anybody, so it might have just been okay.
Yep. Well, not going to lie there for Dodson. That was a very eventful thing, but it was, an interesting way of doing that. But I think Dodson did that. Was that all?
I think he must have been. What? It was. I think he either must have gotten punted out by mistake, or he must have gone for the pit and pulled out because of too high of a speed. I'm going to guess he got punted into the infield.
No, he loses it coming out the exit. There you go. He gets loose.
Oh, yep.
And then just unfortunately is stranded there. And then he's just a one-way passenger here for Dodson. As you can see, we're just going over the grass on that infield. So, and that's what Dodson's seeing there as well, as he's going to come start backing into the track, look into the rearview mirror. Everybody's through, so maybe it might have been a little bit early on that yellow, on that caution.
But yeah, very well held from Dawson. At least he didn't collect anybody or end up hitting the wall and totaling his car. But yeah, maybe a little bit premature on that. But I don't think Carl Dodson is going to mind that at all right now.
No, definitely not. Now is he going to make the choice to go in? This is going to be a complete level playing field at this point because the likes of Heitman and Harville had the option of going in. They still didn't go in. Hinglebottom didn't go in either. Neither is Eli Sazak from lap 90. So, yeah, Sazak also not going in there. And you see that was the lucky dog of Edward Shire, who has just made it through here as well. Shh. Maybe that's actually not a pronunciation of that name, and I'm sure I might get a DM in the morning, but we'll see from that one. Derek Heitman leading the field with Corey Harville, Damaris Hinglebottom, Ruben Phelps, Eli Sazak, Matt Dicciani, Neil Pearson, Jason Taylor, Sean O'Brien, and Jamie Knopf are your top 10. So welcome back, Robert Anderson. Thank you so much again for coming in. Yeah, it's been an interesting race. Lap 132 for the 9th caution of the evening. So there we go. Let's see what goes on and how this one pans out, Rhea, I think.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting one so far, and I'm actually kind of surprised to see so many people dive into the pits after just having a caution and deciding to, keep it going, not switch out the tires. I wonder if seeing Dodson go sideways maybe just kind of spooked a couple of people and made them think twice about running those older tires.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that as well. Might see people try to make it on fuel, says Robert Anderson. What do we think of the fuel situation? Do we think they can get it to the end here? Because it's going to be tough, but they're on max fuel. They're on 100%.
I think it's possible, but I don't know that that's the most sound strategy, especially if you're in that front pack there, or for the likes of people that we've seen, like Pearson. Who else was running in the front that didn't end up having to lose a bunch of places? Unfortunately, my timing chart is all over the place.
Yeah, we'll blink around for a minute while everybody settles down and gets into position. So lap 135 there. So there we go. Mayhaps, Bobby, mayhaps.
Yeah, I think it's possible, but I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's the most sound strategy.
Well, let's see. Let's see what people do, to be honest. Because if you give people the option, then they'll look at running it, right?
Yeah, more than likely you'll have at least a couple of people on the field thinking about it, maybe giving it a little test and seeing where they're at.
I think it's depending what their crew chief or whatever they're using is going to come up with there as well. Matt Long, Sean O'Brien, Jason Taylor, Patrick Gidder and Wayne Grass have come in to the pits on the lap. So let's see how they get on now as well as they're catching up to the back end of the field. So we'll keep an eye on them guys under this caution. 136 to go of 201. 3 Americans, a Kiwi are the front 4. Starters order is going to be coming back very, very shortly. And now that pace car is going to drop in as these drivers approach here. Down into the green flag running. It is going to be Heitman. He's going to make a bolt for it. He's going to lead the way here with Corey Harville, Damaris Hinglebottom. Also in that first, second, third. Phelps still in the fourth. Dicciani there as well. Mixing it in that number 4 machine with Jamie Knopf behind him. 2 wide further back with Sazak and Chad there with Neil Pearson in the mix as well. The Australian sitting in 9th place at the moment. He's going to start making a move. He started coming up the inside. Sazak says it's just been done on inside inside and outside by Lucas Arbrew and Ben Tracy as well. So for Sazak there, unfortunately, just down 4 positions. Is that a tyre situation, considering he's on lap 90 here, Rhea? Was the last time he pitted, and everybody else is a little bit fresher on the tyres.
Yeah, I think at this point, especially with all the people so close, it's going to be a lot harder for him to defend. It's, a little tap on the wall from somebody at the front. Looks like it might have been Harville. But yeah, I think especially the people running the older tires are going to struggle a lot here. It maybe not have... When everybody dove into the pit that last time, it might have been a smart move to just make sure you're not running those old tires. Stuck down the back.
2, 3 at one point, almost 4 wide there. And Heitman is starting to go backwards a little bit. Is that the decision to not pit on 90 going to cost him? Is that decision going to cost Hartville? That Heitman's going backwards faster than he's going forwards. I can tell you that much. And unfortunately, he's dropped all the way back now into 10th place. 18 laps deep here, plus 18 gains, sorry, and pitted on lap 90. So we're on 140. So he's been going 50 laps on them tyres, and unfortunately looks like he's starting to feel the effects of them. Up front, there's been a little bit of changing battles. They're almost going to be 3 wide here as well. Ruben Phelps in the mix with Ben Tracy, and in front of that, Jamie Knopf and Chad here as well. So nice little battles going on, but I think now the likes of Heitman and also Harville may be looking at starting to struggle on tyres here.
Yeah, I'm just... Sorry, I'm kind of trying to pick my words carefully. I don't want to say it was a bad move to not take tires, but when the field, everybody jumped the gun, that second caution, it may have been a bit of a smarter move to, if you were on an older set, to just kind of take it. We only have a little over 60 laps to go. It's actually more about 59 laps to go, but you have enough sets that you could probably have comfortably changed. And
Tracy just got squeezed there. Tracy just got squeezed with Chad Keeby behind him. Sorry to cut you off there, Rhea, but Chad Ben Tracy nearly ended up there as well. Pearson's trying to run that inside line. He's going to go past Harville. Harville's another one on lap 53 old tyres here as well. Pearson in on 127, so he's got a lot fresher boots underneath him. Dodson's another man as well on fresh tyres on 134. So it is going to be, I think, the battle of the tyres here with Dodson. Chad in front has also got him on the 98. Damaris 111. Then we got Knopf and Dicciani, who has made his way up to the front as Matt Dicciani on a 28 place gain. Currently here as well, as we're nearly coming into the last 50. Can we hold this a little bit more? Patrick Gitter and this chain of cars of Taylor, O'Brien, Grass, Stevens and Scheuer have dropped off the pack. They're 3.6 seconds back away from Eli Sazek, who I don't think is going to be very long before he's going to be on the front end of that pack, as you can see there as well. So I think there's a couple of people probably praying for a caution about now to be able to get them tyres off off their car and some new ones on.
Yeah, it would help a lot of people right now. And
yeah, Travis.
Sorry, my computer. Sorry, that was my fault. My just.
Travis Squirmader there. Tom Weston, imagine Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen in stock cars. Well, I think, to be honest with you, Travis, that may be just one big crash fest after another here, because I think that's probably what they would probably want to do with the stock cars, knowing that they've not been able to make contact for so long, that they're now going to be looking, I think, to make that contact. And I think that would be almost bordering line banger racing here as well. So, yeah, I don't think that would be such a good idea to put both of them guys in a stock car. Because let's face it, it could cause quite a bit of an issue if they were there. Let's check if everything's all right in with Rhea. Rhea, are you all good?
Yeah, I'm good. I was worried that my Discord was going to start sounding like Zach's earlier.
Yeah, it did go a little bit squiffy, but you're all good. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. It's all good. Didjani, Dodson, Pearson. I think these... Where are we at? Who's got the older tyres here? Didjani Pearson has got the older. Dodson's got the fresher boots underneath him. That could explain why he's motoring along here as well. So lap 148 of 201. We're just nearly breaking into the last 50.
Yeah, it's been quite a... Again, picking my words. I will say it has been a relatively clean race. I'm surprised we've seen so much green running with these people running so close to each other. And the tires are just not as much of a problem as I really thought they would be. I thought we'd see a couple more people getting loose towards the later stages and kind of saving those last sets. Well, I'm actually quite surprised we didn't see anybody take, at least not that I saw, nobody took 2 tires instead of 4.
Well, Heitman, Harville and Sazak are really struggling now, right? They've literally dropped down to 19th, 20th and 16th place respectively. So they are really struggling. Don't forget they went in on 90, lap 90. So they've been 60 laps on the boots that they've got on at the moment. Jamie Knopf now leads up the front of the race here as well. Dicciani saving, says Dustin Hall in chat. Well, he's been on 127. Can have a listen and see what he's doing within that cockpit.
Yeah, he's running that low line, so not really saving too hard.
No, let's see what he does going into 3. No, there's still throttle intake there.
Yeah, Pearson up front getting a little loose, that back end just trying to get out.
I wouldn't say, Dustin, to be honest. I wouldn't say he's probably saving... No, he's on and off the throttle coming out too. He's not clean running the corner. What it means is like lifted now and letting it run all the way round. He's having to take the throttle after he's short lifted. So I don't think he's saving much, to be honest. I think it's minimum. And at the moment, I'm loving the fact that Jamie Knopf is out in front, partly because I do love his livery as well. That bright colour really does pop on that car. And the fact that he's always been round the front running of the pack, hasn't he? He's been in and out of that area, and he seems to be doing well. And I don't think anybody would disregard the fact that obviously if he took the victory here, he's done well to deserve it there. Dustin Hall, just based on the fact that he's never left the bottom. Yeah, I agree with you. Diciani hasn't as well, but I think if you generally would save middle to top, right?
Correct. Yes, you would generally run the high line to save your tires a little bit more.
Ooh.
Midfield, it looks like.
Yeah. Got a funny feeling. Well, there it is. Heitman has had a bit of a moment. Mind you, he is on 60 lap old tyres. Oh, he's got into Phelps, and then he's just got loose, unfortunately. Phelps has got a little bit more grip underneath him. And Heitman there spinning that car. To be honest with you, the fact that he was on 60 lap old tyres, he probably needed that caution, didn't he, I would have thought?
Yeah, it's going to help him, and it's going to help a couple of other people on the track quite a bit to be able to dive in and not lose too much time. We haven't seen, I don't think, if I recall correctly, we haven't seen any green flag pit stops yet.
No, I agree. No here, fellas. No here, fellas. I'm sure that's related.
Not here. Not here, as the low line being the saving line for tires. I'm not gonna dispute that because I haven't raced Vegas enough, but I was told the high line is saving.
I agree. Not here. Oh, okay. Are you saying then, Dustin, now obviously you run NASCARs a lot more than, well, for me and probably Rhea as well. Are we saying now that the higher line is not as conditional to saving tyres and that? Because normally, as Rhea said, and I agreed, and it's what we've been told previously, continuously, the higher line is always the better line for saving. Now,
well, not always. It does depend on the track.
Generally. Sorry.
Yes, it is.
I'll choose
generally,
my words.
However, yeah, it's not always, just because some people are going to say, well, you have this track and this track and this track. But yes, generally the high line is for saving, and I was told this track is pretty normal. It's very bumpy, so it's quite possible that that high line is just kind of rough on the tires with how not smooth it is.
Okay. Okay, well, maybe Vegas is a different makeup here of a track. It is an asphalt circuit. That is correct, gents. It's a matter of throttle percentage and steering angle. So there we go. There we go. As Damaris is in now, that leads Patrick Gitter in the front of the field. Patrick pitted on lap 135. So Jason Taylor's got himself into second place. Sean O'Brien and Wayne Grass there behind, with Lachlan behind that as well in fifth. Lucas Abreu in sixth. Neil Pearson seventh. Jamie Knopf eighth, and Tanner Marty. Now you will find that some of the front eight have gone into the pits. Pearson has gone in. He pitted as well on lap 155. Lachlan on 155. Abreu on 155 as well. So it could come down to a straight sprint between some of these guys here in that front pack rear.
Yeah, I think it likely is going to be. Yeah, not so much a sprint, maybe a little bit of I can't think of the word. There's going to be some tire management, but it's definitely not going to be as heavy as we've seen before.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. Can we get towards the end as we're going into the last 44 laps here at Vegas? Once more, Lucas Abreu sitting in sixth place. Patrick Gitter's got himself towards the front of the field. He's with Taylor, O'Brien and Grass. Don't forget, we picked up on them a little bit earlier on, and they were a little bit further back than where they are now. Of course, these front four, but they weren't the front four at one point here, Rhea, were they? They were towards the back of the field.
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised to see how much the field has changed in the past couple. Well, caution certainly helped that quite a bit, but the past couple of laps we've seen the lead change positions change quite drastically.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Pearson down in 70s actually lost 4 positions overall, and then we have some of the front runners who've gained 30, 20, 25, 11 positions.
Yeah, I think the thing with that is that the pit stop cycles with Gitter, Taylor, O'Brien and Grass is on lap 135. Then you got Lachlan, Lucas, Neil Pearson, Jamie Knopf, Tanner Marty, and pretty much everybody else behind that, all the way down to Chad in 24th place, all pitted on 155. So we are getting ready once more to get up and running. The pace car is going to go in. Can we get these last 43 laps done and dusted without one more caution? It's off and running, and we are green. Here, Patrick Gitter got the jump at the front over O'Brien, over Taylor, over Grass. It's going to be go here. Who's going to make it?
To the end of the race, you mean? Who's going to come out on top?
Who's going to come out on top? Sorry.
I honestly think a lot of the people running up the front have a really good shot. I wouldn't be surprised if Pearson's able to make up all those positions with the pace he's had all night. But it's also one thing to have that pace and another to pass with that pace. So we'll have to see how people do with defending. I think Gitter's been showing a great race all night as well. not that anybody's been showing a bad race, but just some people that have been standing out quite a bit with their pace and their defense.
I agree. Gitter has also looked strong though this evening. Pearson Knopf is another one who've always been round there as well. Gitter is fast too though. Yeah, he is very at the moment. He's been showing good pace. Diciani's all the way down in 18th, and everybody in front of him has pitted on the same lap. So for Matt Diciani now, he's got a little bit of a mission there, Dustin. I'm not going to lie. He's got a little bit of a mission to start trying to get in front here. He's just made a move past Phelps. Heitman's underneath him currently. Sazak there as well. Phelps has gone backwards a couple of places. Looks like he may have had a tap of the walls. So here... once more, Diciani's got a little bit of a mission as everybody in front has passed him. Lucas Abreu there as well. This front, well, I'm afraid 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cars battling it out as we're going now into that 162 mark, coming towards the final laps here, Rhea. This is where the chess starts going, isn't it? This is where the games start playing.
Yeah, it's been a game of patience for pretty much the whole race. You don't want to push too hard, but at this point, it's going to be a lot of defending from a lot of drivers. So you kind of want to start playing that game, using up your tires, using up more of your fuel, and trying to make that pass and keep the position. We're seeing a couple of people really push. Some people going towards the outside still. A little surprised. That the bottom line doesn't save as much here, but it is definitely faster.
Yeah, it definitely is. Pearson's stuck up now. He's got stuck behind the 24 of O'Brien there. He had a bit of a run, and O'Brien was, unfortunately, the man who did provide the block on that one. Pearson's had to get off the gas. He's now trying to run that outside line with Dodson tucked in that brightly liveried number 5 car. Looks something out of the 80s hip-hop party there as well. I'm sure my sisters had leg warmers that were that colour on them car, the pink, the green and the blue. So, you know, fair play to Dodson. He might have been around at that point, but he's, yeah. I'm sure my sisters had leg warmers that colour. I'm not going to lie there, Carl Dodson. Great job, though, as well. When you can almost imagine them on roller skates with a pink hairband and spandex tops, can't you?
How many horsepower do you think that livery adds?
How many? What, the brightly colours?
Yes.
I don't know. In Dodson's head, it probably makes him faster than an F1 car. But he has made his way to the front. He has made his way to the front with Pearson and Dodson. Gitter's also in there as well. Gitter is not necessarily on the same tyres. He's on lap 135 here. He's 20 lap older tyres than these guys in the front. Don't forget, people pitted on 155. So let's see what goes on once more with the likes of Gitter, with the likes of Taylor. They're going backwards. I'm not going to lie, they are slowly declining here as well. 80s hip-hop, naughty by nature. Maybe. But you do see the leg warmers, right? You do see the colourful, bright leg warmers that they used to wear in the 80s with the hairband and the roller skates when they used to go to roller discos as well. You know, the leg warmers on the bottom, that big bouffant perm sticking out there every mother had, regardless, who used to come down in the morning and it was like something out of a horror movie when you walk in the kitchen and there's your mum with her rollers in her barnet trying to make this old Betty Bouffant perm stick right out there. I can tell you, good old days with the 80s. Good old days.
It was very specific.
Hey, that's because I have come down in the morning some days as a kid and my mother's in there making me breakfast before school. Rollers in her barnet, Bouffant perm sticking out all over the place. I tell you, a bird could nest in there and she probably wouldn't have even noticed. Not going to lie on that one.
Oh my gosh.
Very. But it's true. If you were around in the 80s, of course, Ria, you know, I'm born in the late 70s, so I was around at that point. But there we go. Straight Richard Simmons stuff there, says Dustin Hall. So, yeah. Very interesting period, to be honest. Very interesting period. Right, coming on to that fatty one mark remaining as we have just waffled on about pink leg warmers and stuff.
What's this wee stuff?
Oh, yeah, well, all right, I have. You know what I mean? It's when you pull
Somebody
out.
went on a trip down memory lane.
Hey, nothing wrong with good old memories, as long as they are good memories. Bruno Melo and Lucas Arbery running side by side, the Brazilian contingency here as well. Chad, Ruben Phelps, Kevin Soziak, Randy Belk, have all dropped off a little bit. Andrew Dyson is the non-runner. I believe we've still got 28 on track running here as well. So I think this is going to come down to any one of these front five here. Francisco Villarreal at the end with Chad Keeby, who's always been up there as well. He also had himself in a little bit of a few little tat situations there. Jamie Knopf has always been near the front. Niall Pearson and Dodson as well. 81 here, bud. I remember. Thank you, Dustin. 78 for me. So that makes me 42 there, dude, as well. Yeah, they were the good times. All the way through the 80s, you know what I mean? Early 90s, and then after that, it all just went completely to poop. So, yeah, not going to lie. And it's now getting even worse. So, yeah. What has the world come to, Dustin? Take us back to the 80s. Booth on perms and pink and vibrant green and yellow leg warmers. Oh. Those were the days. Can you see yourself in a pair of bright pink leg warmers, Rhea?
I don't think I can. No.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I don't think I'm going to be the one to bring back the '80s style. No.
Oh, you should rock it on. Rock it on. 42 actually, says Dustin. Okay. Yeah, 3 years younger than 3 years younger than me. Lo, you're not wrong. I'm not. No. I love that period of time. You used to get kicked out the house by your mum at 8:30 in the morning on the weekend, and you weren't allowed home until the traffic lights come on, the street lamps. When the street lamps come on, you were allowed back in the house. Or you could fly in and grab lunch if you were really quick about it, because you can guarantee your mum's running around with a feather duster doing the hoovering on a Saturday, and she needed you out the house. So the only way she was going to get you out the house was kick you out the door at 8:30 in the morning, and off you go with your friends. But there we go. Anyway, enough of my memories. MC Hammer Pants grew up. Oh, mate, I loved the MC Hammer Pants, where you had the crotch that was down to the kneecap. And they were the most uncomfortable thing to try and walk in ever. And then you had Crisscross as well, where everything put on backwards. I remember when that song came out, Crisscross would make you jump. And literally half my school the following day come in with their jumpers on and their shirts on backwards. I tell you, have you ever tried sticking your shoes on backwards? It don't work.
This is going to be a very interesting Stewart's conversation. James, you talked about the 80s for like 5 laps. I don't know what happened.
Well, they're getting into position, aren't they? I think that's the thing. This is where that lull period where everybody starts making moves. Look, Dustin's loving it as well. So me and Dustin are having a good old chinwag between us. But everybody's now getting into that last 25, right? We're going to have 25 remaining very, very shortly. So they're all moving in position now. They're all spread out all the way through the track. So we've got to fill it up somehow. And the 80s, I tell you. Those were the times. Those were the times. 25 to go here now, Rhea, at Vegas. It's going to be an exciting finish, but I think it's going to be between Dodson and Pearson. I've got to be honest. Maybe Jamie Knopf, if he can stay with them there.
It is. It's worth noting that Gitter's actually been holding on quite well. He has lost a couple of positions, obviously, from when we started, but in the past about 10 laps or so, he's only lost about 3-4 positions. As I say that, he's starting to drop further and further down. I think right now he's just hoping for a caution to be able to change out those tires and see what he can do.
Yeah, definitely there as well. Crisscross didn't play their reverse coveralls game, but I rocked the dance moves. Oh, quality times. Now, can you imagine that would be called dad dancing now, Dustin, if we went and did that at my son's or our kids' discos or whatever? It would be, look at your dad dancing. And even though you're rocking out the crisscross dance moves from the 80s, I think there must have been 80s, early 90s, on that one. So, yeah, dad dancing all the way, Dustin. I get told that now from me kids. Already when I start jigging around the kitchen while I'm cooking me dinner, and they're like, Dad, please stop, please just stop it. Well, you're too old. That's what I get told. So there we go. Apparently you're too old when you get to 45.
We'd be cancelled.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, we'd be cancelled, definitely. I fully agree. You'd never get to a school disco again, would you? If you rocked out the crisscross dance moves here. Villarreal, Paget, Kiwi, Knopf, Pearson and Dobson. 22 remaining at Vegas. Let's see what's going to happen here. Dicciani's slowly making his way move. He's up into 12th place. Can he get onto the back of the front here as well? O'Brien's trying to have a fight. Further down, we've got Lachlan still going at it as well with Edward Shoya and Benjamin Stevens dropping back a little bit. Jordan Pearson making a break for it as best he can. I think that's Randy there as well. Randy Belk, the back marker once more. Pearson and Kiwi swapping backwards and forwards. Knopf moves himself into second place here. 20 remaining now. He's going to get to the end. Can Dobson take this win, though, Rhea? Can he take the victory here at Vegas, do we think?
I think he definitely has a chance. I think quite a few of those front runners have been really pushing the last couple of laps, and I think we have 20 to go, so it really is not necessarily anybody's race, but it's up in the air as to who in that front pack is going to take it at the end. A couple of people starting to get a little loose. It looks like Jamie Knopf is getting a little loose on the exit of some of the corners here. Just from the inside, it feels more like his car is starting to slide out.
Heitman has started to get his groove back. I'm not going to lie. Heitman is in 7th at the moment. The problem is as well, the lap times. Heitman is the quickest man in the top 7. Matt Long is the top 8, and Bruno Mella, believe it or not, last lap around was the quickest man in the top 10. Dicciani was after that, moving into 11th, so we're coming down within the 18th to go here, and there's some great action going to develop here with Dodson, Knopf, Pearson, Kiwi, Paget and Villarreal. Of course, Mark Paget there has done some great dodging moves of accidents all the way through this rear. I think there was a couple of incidents where he was literally faster than lightning on his reactions. This back group here of Villarreal, Heitman, Long and Mello dropping back 1.39 off this front pack. This front pack slowly starting to make a break here as well. Dodson's trying to get away from Knopf. Can this finish off with his last 17? Can we keep it green all the way? Stay tuned, guys, because this is going to be a very exciting ending here as well, Rhea, and one that I think could go right the way down to the wire.
Yeah, I think we're going to end up green for the rest of the race, barring any, big mishaps. But unfortunately for Gitter, I think he really wanted a caution at this point in the game. It would have helped him a lot. He's dropped down to 10th in the past. How long have we been green? 30 laps or so?
Yeah, last caution lap 154. So we've been quite a while there. Gitter has got pace, but he's in that 135 pit stop strategy that with Taylor and Sazak, they're going backwards as well. O'Brien's dropped right back. Dicciani's now moved himself into that 11th place. Can he get that top 10? Well, he's not too far away for Dicciani. Then we've got Pearson, Knopf, Kiwi, Dodson. Dodson's made that break. He's got about 3 tenths at the moment. 15 to go now, Rhea. This is it. This is the all-for-nothing moment, isn't it, here this evening?
Yeah, I think we're probably going to start seeing maybe Pearson make a move. Knopf is right there as well. It's going to come down to the last probably 5 or so laps.
Oh, nothing at 84. He's looking racy. He is looking racy there as well. He's doing an absolutely stellar job and has done for the complete and utter evening here as well. In that beautiful liveried Chevrolet behind us. Here he comes. Here he comes. He's closing in. He's closing in. He's closing. Oh, just didn't quite have enough. He's going to go once more here, Rio. For me, he's looking the most likely to take this victory just purely because of how consistent he's been throughout the race. He made his points gain and has never really looked back, has he? He's made his position gain, and he's never really been out of that top 10, to be honest.
Yeah, he really has been on point tonight, and it definitely helps that he's pulling. Him and Dodson are pulling a gap to the cars behind at this point. So if they keep going as they are and not fight too much, then they're gonna end up just being. It's gonna end up just being between the two of them in the last few laps. So it would be very interesting to see how long Knopf is willing to hold off for.
Ooh. Well, that's the view from Knopf's car as he's getting onto that try. There goes Dodson down under the apron. Knopf decides not to follow him here. Coming into the last 11. Here we go. This is it. Going to be coming into that last 11. Heitman is starting to make the moves there as well. Pearson's finding himself under pressure once more. We're going to be on that last 10 to go. These front two are broken away by about nearly a second. Just about at the moment, but Heitman, Paget, Pearson, Long, Kibi, Mello, and Dicciani's a little bit too far back for me going into the last 10. It's going to be a sprint. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a battle. Can Knopf and Dodson hold on to that front? Can Heitman catch them up here as well as we're going into that final 10? And there goes Knopf for the lead. He's dropped underneath Dodson at the moment as well. Is he going to be managing to hold on going round the exit of 3? Coming into 4 currently as well. Great job here from Knopf and Dodson. And here comes Heitman. He is not holding back now. He's going to be in that draft.
Yeah, while they're up here fighting, Heitman is gaining a lot of speed. Knopf and Dodson creating a bit of a side draft between them, which just pulls the car back further and further, and it's just allowing Heitman to gain all that time. So they're bringing him into it. He's already up into second place, so they've brought him into this fight, which they might not have wanted here at the end.
No, definitely not. But you can see the lap time there. The front two 31s, the front Heitman, Long and Mello in the 30s. So you can see that brief little moment of battle caused them a problem. Here comes everybody else as well. Long's going to be in this. I tell you what, it's a shame to see Neil Pearson all the way down in 8th at the moment. He was looking so strong after his stage victory. Dodson and Heitman side by side going into the final 8. You can see it's that moment, as you say, that moment of where they were side by side, that's caused them to bring everybody else, that front 6 almost, are all are now in with it with 7 to go.
Yeah, to touch on your point about Pearson, I think at one point he may have tapped the wall or something like that because it seemed he dropped a couple of places quite quickly. But yeah, the fight up at the front is just causing so much side draft and bringing everybody back into it. Like you said, the top 6, it's come back to being pretty much anybody in this pack's race.
Yeah, 6 to go. Dodson slots in behind Heitman there, gives him a little bit of a love tap as he goes over the line. Knopf still battling away as well. He's got Matt Long alongside him there, side by side with Bruno Mello, Mark Paget, Chad Kibi still in the mix here. Oh, it'd be such a shame if Knopf doesn't get this, because he's driven so well this evening. I think that's the thing for the number 84 Chevy. He's done so well. And now Heitman's just come through and said, thank you very much, I'll have some of that, as he's coming now. 5 to go over the line. Can Heitman take this victory as he goes through the back marker there as well? I believe, and that's the 98 there as well, who is all the way down. Where are you, actually, come to think about it? That's Chad there. He's all the way down in 26th place. So it looks like Heitman's opened up this gap though, Rio. With 4 to go, he's going to be in that pole position.
Yeah, as you said, Knopf has been very consistent, but Heitman's just been really pushing it the last couple of laps, and he's been gaining so much time running quite fast laps. So it's hard to say that one person deserves it more than the other. I think everybody at the front here has been running a great race the entire night. It's been very entertaining to say the very least.
Absolutely. 4 to go. There are your top 5. Heitman, Dodson, Knopf, Long, Mello in there as well. Paget still in there. Is this race done now? Is it going to be Heitman's victory? Is it going to be Knopf's? Is it going to be Dodson? Heitman does look like he can't be caught. I'm not going to lie. He looks like he is rocking the pace over the last 3.
Yeah, like I said, he's really just been putting his foot down. So I think, barring any caution, I think Dodson might not be able to make too much of a play here. It looks like Heitman might just have it.
Yeah, I think
he's going to run away with it.
Yeah, I think he is, to be honest, with 2 to go. 2 to go here from Las Vegas for the Div 2s. 201 laps have been, well, we're on 199 here. And it looks like Derek Heitman may have made that jump. I think it's going to be the battles here. It's going to get the top 3. I think Heitman is going to take this. He's left it. Do you know the interesting thing? He looked like he was a little bit too far back going in. Now on to the final lap. It is the final lap now. This is going to be the battle here. Heitman is in front. There are back markers. I'm sure they won't come into play, but it is Heitman's race to lose. It is literally all on him to make it through turn 3 and turn 4 without any issues. If he can do that, he is going to secure the victory. It's going to be that battle further back as we're coming over the line now. It's going to be Heitman. It's going to be Dodson. It's going to be Knopf there as well. Matt Long goes over the block there as well, and Matt Long takes the 4 once more, but it was all about Heitman there, who rocked up late. He saved his tyres, says thank you very much, I'll have some of that. And Derek Heitman will be heading down into victory lane here this evening for this Div 2. 100% there as well. Great management, appreciate the clinic.
I think that may have been autocorrect. And it was commentary.
Oh. Okay, well, there is Derek Heitman. Done an absolute stellar job. Where are you, young sir? You're coming out of there, going into there. Dodson just didn't quite get it towards the end, did he? Just didn't quite get it, unfortunately.
I think there was just too much fighting with him and Knopf just creating too much side draft and losing too much time.
Yeah, I fully agree. And let's have a chat with Matt Long here. So let's see as we drop these into the waiting room. And let's see now your official results of this race at Vegas, and it is going to be Derek Heitman is your winner, Carl Dodson in second, Jamie Knopf in third, Matt Long fourth, Mark Paget fifth, Bruno Mello sixth, Chad Keeby seventh, Matt DiCiani eighth, Patrick Gidder in ninth, Neil Pearson in 10th, Jason Taylor 11th, Francisco Villarreal in 12th, Eli Sazak 13th, Sean O'Brien 14th, Lucas Abreu 15th, Ben Tracy 16th, Corey Harville 17th, Jordan Pearson down in 18th place. Then you got Damaris Hinkenbottom in 19th, Wayne Grass 20th, Benjamin Stevens 21st, Lachlan Aquijo in 22nd, Ruben Phelps 23rd, Tanner Martin 24th, Chad Gwinigsman in 25th, Edward Schreier in 26th, Kevin Sozak 27th, Randy Belk 28th, Andrew Dyson 29th. And then we go into the non-finishers. That is Dyson, Scrumada, Henderson, King, Ammon, Simmons, Beck, and Llewellyn are your final non-finishers here as well. So a great job from all of these guys. It's time to start having chats with the drivers once more. And I tell you what, let's start it off here. We'll have a conversation with the man that finished in 4th place. Left it late towards the end, did Matt Long, but he's come through and taken that 4th overall. Matt, welcome into the booth, dear sir. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm not bad at all, mate. Not bad at all, to be honest. It's been an interesting race, hasn't it?
Yeah, you know what? I'm happy I got a top 5, man. I just really ran tonight to a little test session, and the car felt pretty good. We got a little too snug at the end, and I made some really stupid pit calls. I thought for a second that I could save enough fuel when we had those cautions. I came down with 1 to go and went back to like 24th or something, and then I realized I can't save fuel. So we had to drive back from the back to the front multiple times. So to come home with the top 5 feels pretty good.
when you get in, the thing is though, Matt, when you're getting into that final 10, did you sit there and think, before Hypeman had obviously just jetted off all of a sudden, did you think you were in the chance of the win?
Yeah, actually, so I got on Hypeman's rear bumper with maybe 15, 20 go, and I was like, I just need to work with this guy, and hopefully we can catch the leaders. And we caught him pretty good, pretty quick. And then the thought crossed my mind, man, I still have a little tire left, and I felt like I could go at it, but it just got so snug, and it was too hard to pass on the bottom. And then Jamie did a good job blocking the top. So no, with 5 to go, I realized I probably didn't have it, but for a moment there, I thought I did.
Yeah, you've always got to give yourself hope, isn't it? Otherwise, what's the point of racing, But that was one of the things you touched on there, is working together. Now, we didn't see a massive amount of that, Matt. We didn't see a two-line, a two-row race. We didn't see even a single-line race at some points. There were drivers spread out all across the circuit. Do you think that kind of hindered people's progress because they're not locking up to the guy in front to push forward?
Yes and no. I mean, I think you get so many guys on so many different strategies during the run. Like, some people want to save tire and just run the bottom. Other people want to get some track position. So that kind of mixes things up. And because you got people on different agendas, you don't really want to work with each other. You don't have to work with each other. But when you've got kind of a split like that, and you've got the draft, I mean, the draft will help you so much. But when you've got a split like that, like the leaders were out 2.5 seconds, we had to work. We had to work together to catch them. So that's really when that comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Matt, well done there, sir. Congratulations on your 4th place. Gained 13 positions throughout the race there, Matt. Well done. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Just my teammates over at Dirty South, man. Andrew, Neil, Bobby, Jim, man. We have a fun time racing together, and everyone chips in. It's been a fun year.
Okay, Matt. Well, congratulations there, bud. Well done. Anyway, I hope the test session works out well for you and gets you in good stead for tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
No worries. Take care, Matt. So there we go. That was Matt Long. We're now going to have a chat. We caught up a chat with him a little bit earlier on, did we, when Dodson here as well took the stage break. Carl Dodson in the 80s leg warmer liveried machine is in the booth. Didn't quite get the victory. Finished in 2nd place. But boy, oh boy, Carl, you must have thought you were going to have it.
Oh, it felt so darn good to get back in here with this league. 100% is one of my favorite leagues. It's actually the only league I actually run. The sponsors, Trust Me Vodka, giving me my 80s rockin' paint scheme.
Love it.
I was a 77 born baby, so I lived those ages. I couldn't put on no big headset or anything with the hair. I couldn't put on any hairstyle that would stay up with the headset, but with Trust Me Vodka on the sponsor, you always know there's a good party coming after this.
Oh, mate, and you want to watch it back, because me and Dustin Hall had a good old 80s chat in YouTube, mate, talking about the leg warmers, the roller disco. We talked about it all, bud. Your mum coming down in the morning with your rollers in her barnet, trying to get a Betty Buffon perm going on. It was amazing conversations.
Yeah, Dustin's one of the people on this team that at EPI that provides us with these great setups that allow us to have these great runs. I wish I had his patience that, he's going to go out there and win almost every race he's in if he doesn't get wrecked out. He has the patience to do it. I need to learn a little bit of that. But other than that, the pace of this setup was fantastic, and I loved it being able to go from the front to the back. Back to the front, and I had that hiccup with going through the grass.
We saw that.
I thought I was like kill everybody.
We saw that. How you managed to miss people when you come back onto the track as well. Now, that was one of the things we did talk about actually on the broadcast. We did say that the caution flag came out a little bit maybe premature. Did you think the fact that there was nobody around you, there was no danger of you being able to rejoin the race, that it was a little bit early? Don't get me wrong, Carl. It saved you 100%, right?
Yeah,
it saved you like a trooper. Do you think, though, it was needed?
I don't think it was. I made sure that I wasn't going to be impeding the guys, because when you mess up like that, the last thing you want to do is mess up somebody else's race or anything. I was glad it came out, but I did not want to wreck everybody else. So I was doing my damnedest to control that car through that grass, airborne, sideways, throttle brake, trying to keep it off the track and keep it going forward.
Yeah, we definitely did see we definitely did see it going all a little bit Pete Tong for you at that moment. I'm not going to lie, Carl, but well done there, bud. Finishing in second place. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go here this evening?
API for the setups and the work that they do for us with Conti, you know, his last season racing in eNASCAR. And then, of course, all the guys that are on the team that helped me out, Matt DeCiani and Rob and all the other guys, Conti helping us out, giving us the laps and showing us the skill that it takes to get around these tracks. And it really makes us all better.
Well, there you go, Carl. Thank you so much there, buddy. I hope you have a good one and look forward to maybe having a chat with you at Homestead next week.
Outstanding. Hopefully I will be duplicating this tomorrow night.
Hopefully as well, buddy. Good luck for tomorrow. See how you get on once more. But Carl, been a pleasure, sir.
Outstanding. Thank you for what you do for the league and putting on this great broadcast for everybody.
No worries, bud. Our pleasure. Take care.
Toodles.
Toodles. Right, I didn't see this young man in the Discord until now, so I do want to have a quick chat. I brought Jamie in to the booth in that 84 Chevrolet as well. Jamie, welcome in there, sir. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. Do you know what, Jamie? Right, I got to admit, now, you gained 15 places. Through all of everything that went on around this racetrack and around everything that went on, the cautions that we've had, you know, we did have 10, let's say 8 forced cautions, 2 stage breaks. You always managed, once you gain that 15, you always managed to stay within the top 10. And I, sir, really thought you were going to take this evening. You look so strong here.
Yeah, I thought with about 20 to go, I thought that's all I could do was run second to Carl because he was really fast and didn't seem to fall off much. So I kind of pushed real hard on the start to get by the guys that had older tires. And then I think some of them saved their tires and come up there at the end. But I was wanting to push hard as the 62 and the 5 because they were the ones up front the most. And I was like, if I can just stay with them, maybe I won't burn my tires up as bad and I can just hang on and get a good top 3. And then about 15 to go, I started closing in. I said, man, because I started getting a little loose. So I moved up a lane and it seemed like I had a lot better speed. And then I started getting a little tight, but I was still just driving it hard. And then I was catching him some. And I was like, man, I'm going to see if I can pass him. And then I seen Derek catching us at the same time. I said, oh, man, he's going to catch us before I can even try to make a pass. But it's hard to pass on the bottom with the old tires and 1 and 2 with the bumps. So, but I had to take the shot because he moved up to my lane to block my lane from me. So, but it was still a good, awesome run.
Yeah, it definitely was, Jamie. I literally, dude, I was rooting at the end because I thought you were looking so strong. I thought you were going to get it there as well. And props for that livery, dear sir. I don't know who did that livery, but that livery is spectacular there as well. Absolutely love that, mate. But look, great racing overall. Well done on your top 3. Well done on your 15 places gained. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Damaris for putting the league on, giving us good race to run, and thank Adam Benefield at EPI and Michael Connie for the awesome EPI set and training they do on Sundays, and Dustin Hall also for all his help too.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well, Jamie, thank you so much there, sir. Good luck, and you never know, we might have a chat with you next week at Homestead.
All right, I hope so. Thank you.
Take care. Right, now, guys, I had to have a word with Jamie. He'd driven such an amazing race, so we had to get him in there as well. But now, for the final interview of the race for the evening, we go down to Victory Lane. We have a chat with a man who went under the radar for most of the race. He popped up right at the end, like a little beaver out of a hole, and decided enough was enough. He wanted the victory. He went and took the victory. He closed down that gap, took the race win by 1.23 seconds. Let's have a chat and welcome in your winner here this evening, Derek Hyman. Welcome in, Derek. How are you, sir?
Good. I'm good.
Well, You took the victory under the radar for most of the race, sir. I'm not going to lie. Then you popped up and you did it. Did you save it? You obviously got the enough of the tyre saving towards the end there as well to manage to take that victory by the gap that you did.
Yeah, it was a little bit easier than it probably should have been, just because everybody was on an offset tire strat. I stayed out on the last time. Everybody decided to pit and top off for fuel around lap 70. And I stayed out because I didn't want to leave myself with one set of tires left in case, we did continually keep having cautions. I fell all the way to the back, and then some guy ended up getting loose in front of me, and I had to check up and turn left to avoid him, and I lost control of the car. Pretty bad. It's probably going to look bad that I was the last caution that came out in this race, because it ended up benefiting me, unfortunately. Because I don't like winning like that. But anyways, I ended up hitting. Started like P24, 25-ish, and maintained. Did what I could. Drove everybody clean. I found out a nickname for me tonight is Hero Heitman when I drive a little crazy. So I had to pull that out of my bag and find my way to the front.
Now listen, you touched on something there on lap 154, right? That the caution benefited you. Now, regardless of that, the rest of the field came in pretty much on the same time, right? There was only 3. I think Patrick Gitter and a few others were the only ones that pitted on lap 35 and did go in on 155. Everybody had the same time, the same choice to go into the pit, said Derek. They all had the same choice to go in and put some new boots on. They all had the choice to run the race as well. Personally, the checkup was what it was. And at the end of the day, I don't think we can necessarily sit back and say, oh, it was done because Derek wanted to go and take the victory. No, it was just one of them things that happened during the race. And dude, look, just straight up, man, don't count yourself down or think it looks bad, because at the end of the day, you're all there racing. They all went into the pits at the same point. Everybody benefited from it. And at the end of the day, you were the one that benefited the most because you come through and took the victory. Dude, be proud of yourself, man. That's straight up, because I don't think at the end of the day that incident either can be necessarily blamed on what was going on at that time. It was just close racing with Phelps, and that's how it worked out. So I think be proud of yourself, Derek. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely get it. And like I said, I was just running the low line on the bottom in turn 1 and 2, and that guy was like in the second lane, and I seen him get loose, and he came down in front of me, pretty much sideways. I had to hit the brake, and I hit his left rear, and I pulled left in order to avoid wrecking him, and I ended up taking myself out. But at the end of the day, you're right. Everybody had the same opportunity to get on tires. Yeah. I just think everybody was kind of trying to play catch up on the tires after pitting on the last pit stop. So I know that some people took tires and some people didn't. But yeah, everybody. I guess you're right. Everybody had the same opportunities, and I gotta roll with it and just say, hey, I can't say maybe the best car won tonight, but one of the strategy seemed to have won me the race.
But the fastest one won. Because obviously, without being quick, you can't get out there. The thing is, as well, with this incident, I've just watched it a couple of times now, right? You didn't affect Phelps's race. He carried on, right? So it wasn't like you went and put him in the wall. And at the end of the day, the only one it affected was you. Now, if people look back and go, he did that on purpose, well, I'm sorry, Derek Heitman, if you could go and spin your car off the back of somebody else without taking that other person out, please go and train most of the drivers and officials that do that and end up crashing in the wall. Because, sir, that was pretty spectacular how you avoided everyone.
Yeah, I've been doing my best to keep it clean and not be in everyone else's way and ruin other people's race. So, I guess I had the opportunity to not take him out and pull hard left, and then I turned right to get back on get back on the track, and it felt like it just came out from underneath me. But I just don't like the circumstances either.
No, nobody's going to, and I fully understand that, but they can't come out and say he did it on purpose, because as I said, if you can do that on purpose, gee, bro. Go and put your name out there as a trainer. I'll teach you how to spin and cause a yellow without causing anybody else, because I've driven officials, and this 201 lap race, I would still be there probably on lap 49 or something, going with about another few hours to go. So listen, dude, be proud of what you've done, Derek. You did a great job. You come through the field, you took the victory. It was absolutely amazing from my book, so I loved every second of it as well. Anyone you want to shout out though, Derek, before I let you go here this evening?
Absolutely. First, I'd like to thank NAMI, Northern Alliance for Mental Illness, for their continued research and dedication to help those with mental illnesses. I'd also like to thank my primary sponsor on the car tonight, No Kid Hungry, for providing over 10,000 meals to children all around the world every single day. And then last but not least, I got to thank Ryko, Ken Byron, for putting on all the effort for these setups each and every week, and just giving me the power under the hood in order to come out here and compete with all these guys.
Awesome job there, buddy. Well done, Derek. Go away, be proud, have a beer, drink your vodka, Jack Daniels, whatever's your tipple, and go and enjoy the fact that you've just pulled off a spectacular race at Vegas, young sir. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we might have a chat with ourselves next week at Homestead.
Hopefully tomorrow.
Well, I'm not here tomorrow, see, so it's going to be it's going to be a Homestead. You have to have a chat with Carlos.
All right. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, man. Have a good one, buddy.
Great job. Thank you.
No worries. Do you know what, Rhea? Right, I'm going to bring Rhea back in now as well. That probably has been the most humble interview I've ever done with a driver.
From what I've seen, I'd have to agree. It was he definitely deserved the win.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything about that was, I feel bad for the caution. No, it's just racing. It happens.
Yeah. And as I said, if he could actually do that on his own, man, if that's the thing, we all know what gossip monger rumor trees could be like Chinese whispers. If Derek Heitman could go and cause a caution all on his own, hit Phelps, not take out Phelps, and keep it out the wall, and do it to cause a caution to go and change his tyres, man, I guess there should be a driver trainer. Straight up.
Yeah,
he done a spectacular job.
Even if that was the case, that it was intentional, like you said, all the things that would have had to have happened, even still, it would have been commendable.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree. And I think that, for Derek to come in and be as humble as he has, or as humble as he has been, and he has been humble, and he was humble, and he said, I know it looks bad, I cautioned this, I did the last caution, I went and won. I don't care, right? Anybody wants to argue, go and argue amongst yourselves, because it's just purely the fact on jealousy that you did not achieve what Derek Heitman achieved. I don't care full blown when that man was humble. He took that victory. He deserved that victory. He come through. He absolutely rocketed past everyone with barely about 5 to go, 6 to go. I think it was actually 7 to go. He did it and made his move. Look. Be proud of him. That's all I got to say there for Derek Heitman. Absolutely spectacular job. Final word from you, then, Rhea, before we close this out. And it's nearly 6 a.m. for me, and I'm going to get myself tucked up in bed.
I almost called exactly when you were going to sleep, 6 a.m.-ish.
6 a.m.-ish, you did.
Yeah, no, it was just an amazing race. It was, like I said, throughout the race, fairly clean. We had a couple cautions here and there, but nothing, too major, no big ones.
Yep.
But yeah, all in all, a really good race and a really good performance by all of the drivers.
I fully agree. Well, guys, that's it. That brings us to the end of the 100 Cup Series. Div 2 from Vegas. Join us again next week as we go and tackle Homestead. Don't forget, they have got the full 100%, 267 laps of racing here as well. So you can tune in for that one. I believe that's over on Freewide TV, if I'm not mistaken, there as well, as I do keep an eye and keep track of that one. It is Freewide TV. I'm sure Carlos is Freewide TV. It's been a while since I've spoken to the young man. So there we go. Get yourselves involved in that one there. Good job on the broadcast. Is that... I'm going to have to pick you up on that, Dustin. We do have a she in the booth, Dustin. Rhea is a lady, so I will pick you up on that one as well. I let it go the first time, but I'm going to pick you up on the second one. Rhea is a lady, so a man and a lady. There we go. How about that one, Dustin? But much love from all of us up here in the JPB booth. We're going to bring this to an end now as well. Thank you so much to everybody that's joined us, but from myself and the lady that is Rhea Subra from Vegas, take care. Have a great week, guys, and you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.